All right, hello. Welcome. All right, let's enjoy this music here. I've got a message here from Rocker. Wait. It's coming up. I don't know what it is about that. It really grabs me, though. Like, really grabs me. Okay, where's my remote control? Okay, so hello, everyone. Welcome. I wanted to do this yesterday. But if you remember on the Elite Spec stream that I did, I was saying I felt blasted. I haven't done a YouTube, like, review of the second beta as I speak into the mic still. I don't know whether I ever want to do one either. I don't know, like... I was hoping I'd wake up the next morning, like, totally fresh with ideas and thoughts about the specs and what I got to play on that stream, but I don't know, I think I'm just generally feeling really disappointed about it. I think I'm really disappointed about the catalyst, and it sort of hasn't sunk in to me just how disappointed I am. And I needed so much more time with the Bladesworn and the Vindicator. I needed more time with all of them, really. Like, the catalyst to me, I don't know, I won't tell this into the review because I should probably salvage it into a YouTube video somehow. But like I said, I want to just do this thing where I stream a lot more. I really want to change up what I'm doing and how I'm doing it. There was a Reddit thread on my subreddit that went up about, like, 14 hours ago or something, where people were basically saying, oh, where's WP? He doesn't make enough content. Which was pretty depressing. I have this thing where whenever I get a message like that or I see sentiment like that, it depresses the hell out of me, and then, like, it makes me feel like a failure, and then I want to do even less, and it's like this negative spiral. So I was going to be streaming Heavensward much earlier this afternoon, but I was in a bit of a funk, and I've just sort of shook myself out of it, so I've sort of thought, no, let's play the game. So yeah, we'll just play, and we'll go through Heavensward, and we'll see where we go. For people on Wood and Potatoes 2, thanks for following along. What I really want is... sort of a better way of just turning... Alright, here's what I want. Anyone who leaves these comments on WP2, or even live at the moment, does anyone follow a content creator where they just sit around on Twitch, but they turn... They turn their Twitch stream into actually good content on YouTube? Like, what I want is to be able to do this... and then, like, just edit it up a bit, but without, like, the really clunky, shitty process of downloading the processed thing off of... I don't know. I need to just brainstorm it a bit, but I think there might be a way through. If anyone knows, like, a content creator like that, where they just sort of play games and do things, but they have really good... You remember when we were in Ember Bay the other day, and I was talking about Crip's process when he used to cover Hearthstone? And we talked about how, like, you could do an off-the-cuff review just in the middle of the stream. I really like that, and I don't know, that's something I really want to try, because I think I might finally start doing more stuff. But it's a scary thought to, you know, like, bring back the FF12 series, for example, in that format. But maybe Daggerfall could be that. Anyway, yeah, let's jump in. Let me look at chat, because there are messages here. So, first of all... Look, WP, before chat gets all active again, here's a reminder to do the FF15 special quest. You'll absolutely bite your own ass if you don't get the mount from this by the time the event ends. So I know that mount is the Regalia, right? I don't know whether I actually care that much. What I would care about missing is any Final Fantasy X stuff. That's what I would really care about missing. 15 I only just played this year properly. I only very recently beat it. There's still a ton of content I haven't done. I'm not that connected to 15, so I don't mind that much if I miss the Regalia. I would mind missing out on, I don't know, any kind of mount related to 10. I know that you can, like, look like Yuna and you can look like Tidus in the gem store equivalent or whatever, I think, right? But I don't feel too bad about that. Oh, we saw one of my add-ons for a second there. We saw a unique loading screen. So, yeah, I don't know. We'll see. But, look, I'm playing this slow. And, I don't know. I wouldn't expect me to get anywhere fast. I really enjoyed the last Heavensward stream we did, which unfortunately was a while ago. Because it was about a week ago, wasn't it? Because I went away on a little trip. And then there was the beta. And then I, like, crashed for 2 days. And now here we are again. So, but a week is fine. I can still remember... most of the details of what was going on, you know. Look at that loading screen. I swear that's the add-on that's done that. I'm really impressed with how they integrated, like, fully integrated into the menu on this. You'd never find an add-on like this in Guild Wars 2. Like, the closest that you get with Guild Wars 2 is the taco icon. appearing on the top left. Anyway, so yeah, I think there were some other things I needed to act on as well, based on the previous stream. Wow, the Sea of Clouds looks so good right now. Oh, we're not at the Sea of Clouds. We're at the top of the mountain, aren't we? What was the mountain called again? Somal. We did the dungeon to climb Somal. So I am actually in a slightly different position. Because... what did I do? I think I was testing out some keybinds or something. And, oh man, I feel like my UI is not too bad at the moment, actually. I've had a bit of a fresh look away from the game. I feel like this actually looks fairly clean. So, oh, yeah, there was some advice some of you guys gave me about the global cooldown thing in particular. You know, I was whinging about staring at this. Now, one of the suggestions someone had for me is to set up a bar in the very middle. And it's just a skill representing the global cooldown circling. Which I like that. I actually did that on my monk. That was my first thing that I did when I was playing monk a lot. The problem with it, though, is I still am just staring at this tiny little circle. What I want to focus on today when it comes to that, and unfortunately in the main scenario quests, there's not much real fighting going on. But what I wanted to like learn, what I want to do is just like sort of trust a little bit more that it will go through when I press it early. I'm going to trust the queuing more. Because I think that's what's going on. I think I haven't been trusting the queuing. And so I'm focusing too much on something I shouldn't be. Basically, I'm like, because I'm insecure about looking bad in front of you guys, I'm try-harding something that I shouldn't be, you know? And most other people are easy breezy about it. And they're thinking more about what they want to weave rather than the specific pressing of 1, 2, 3, which should be the most simple thing in the world. Right, so that's what I'm thinking. By the way, I saw this between streams as well when I did my little wander around. I think these things look so cool. I really like the sense of adventure that this expansion's given me right now. I really do. This is actually a feeling that even the base game never gave me. Right, so I need to remember. I put sprint just on the regular thing here. Oh, I put floating text on as well. Because I set up one of the add-ons. I should be able to cull and curate it a bit. But I didn't quite figure it out. I was going to ask for your advice on stream from the chat, but I don't know now. We'll see how that looks in a second. So yeah, I kind of skipped past Alphino here on the beginning of the adventure. Let's quickly go down, because I do remember there were some other interactables. And, right, okay, so also, let me look at chat. Sorry, guys. Runar the Brave, Seedseer, Rocker, Darimaru, Driftons... Oh, Grimjack's in chat. I just was reading a Reddit thread in which you exposed Tekit. Thormon, Syncrasies, Arkham UK, Cerebral Killers, Syllable. Lots and lots of people. Let me actually read the content and the messages here. This is really timely. You just started playing FF14 like an hour ago with Aether opened up again. Hey, cool stuff, man. It was a bit lackluster. You are not a fake. Wait, what was that? Oh, the fact that I haven't had enough videos recently. Well, they're right. I mean, that's what... It only bums me out so much because they're right. Because I wish I was doing more. Because I wish End of Dragons Daily was more regular. And I don't know. Oh, you're saying the classes were lackluster. Well, yeah, I agree with you there, I think. I'm disappointed about the Vindicator. Was not feeling the elite and the dodge traits. I mean, it's a first... We don't know how early this beta is. One thing you got to think about with End of Dragons is Heart of Thorns... Never really had that. I don't remember. I mean, I definitely, when I went out to one of the physical events, I got to play like Rev in a very early state. I remember Rev being quite different. But generally speaking, there wasn't an equivalent to a very early beta. Path of Fire, there wasn't an equivalent to a very early beta. In Path of Fire, the beta was pretty close to the release. End of Dragons, we're getting 6 months out. Access to these elite specs. So if you think of it as just like, you know, these are first passes, they might be able to do quite dramatic stuff. They might, you know, I'm doing a lot in my head to try and keep myself excited about End of Dragons, is the honest thing. A lot of it's just not grabbing me. And I'm really scared I'm completely falling out of love with, like, I really want to be a lot more excited about this expansion, and I'm not. And I don't know. That's why I think it's quite well timed looking at games like FF14 and stuff. I mean, I don't know. I might not be excited about Endwalker either. I've spent the vast majority of the past few days watching Taskmaster and listening to Taskmaster podcasts, which is not video game related in the slightest. My true passion is British panel shows, I suppose, these days. Anyway, some messages I don't understand. Jimmy Broadbent, XP Gamers. You genuinely don't like Twitch streams on YouTube. Feels rather disconnected. Do you think the platforms target very different audiences? Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. That's the thing. I agree with you. But I don't want to pick one or the other, you know. I like the idea of Twitch feeds YouTube rather than replaces it. That's genuine. And you guys are like a tiny proportion of my audience, you know. A tiny, tiny little... And one that I really value, and one that, you know, you genuinely get a lot more interactivity out of. But, so it's like, how do I bridge that, you know? And these are real questions that I probably should have asked years ago. Years ago. Like, when I put on that first Hearthorn stream, and we had like 2,000 live viewers, just because I'd never really streamed Guild Wars, and we were a big place. I should have figured this shit out then, you know? I really should have. And I didn't. And to this day, I'm still, like, uneasy about it all. You can check... Okay, so there's some advice. Oh, that's what you're saying. Okay, well, I'll look at the VOD. I'll look at the comments on the VOD here, if anybody had any suggestions. Because, obviously, I don't want to look up now. We want to play the game. You don't need to do any special quests for the Regalia. You just have to play Gold Saucer stuff, which does have FF10 stuff in it, too. I've never been to the Gold Saucer. That is an area of A Realm Reborn that I've never been to. Like, if we go to Thanalan... I guess I have it unlocked. It looks like I've been there, but I've never been here. I really haven't. And but the thing is, did this exist with A Realm Reborn, or did it get added with one of the later? I sort of feel like it probably got added with one of the later expansions. There's a thing I still don't understand with this game, which is where it so blatantly takes anthology stuff, and I'm wondering if there's an actual lore reason for it. Like, this is literally the Gold Saucer in a desert, but it's not from Gaia, is it? It's not the Gold Saucer from FF7, right? But it also feels very much like it. It's like, how is Rabanasta in this game? Like, how the fuck does that work? Why is Anima coming into this game? I assume there's a lore connection, but I don't know what... I don't get it, really. So I'm excited to see that as it goes forwards. I guess it's just like the whole wish fulfillment thing, but why... I don't know. I mean, maybe there is no reason, and it's just we're taking anthology to the next level, you know, the referential nature of the franchise, and then not doing anything else. Chocobo Square is very interesting to me. But yeah, I've never been here. I have an Australian friend who played a little bit of this about 3 months ago, and this was one of the only things he did. So I know I can get there, but I've just not been there yet. Chocobo is the best mount anyway. Well, we're on the black Chocobo right now because that is what we've been given from... Oh. I thought I swapped to the black Chocobo. Oh, I did. I just gave different icons there. I forgot you could do this. You could set up like a whole bar of just mounts. So yeah, I'm using the black Chocobo for now. And maybe at one point, I'd quite like to get a stable and set some of that up with the Chocobo as well. Work to Game is one of the only people... Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. People pay editors. I'm not at that level, am I? Do your weekly fashion report in the Gold Saucer, then play some Gold Saucer stuff for an hour. It will take an hour. It will be fun ARR content, and you'll have enough points next week. You can just grab them out. So this is time sensitive, is it? You're telling me to not stream Heavensward today, but to stream the Gold Saucer instead today? Oh, he's gone. He said he had to go AFK. We're going to do Heavensward. Tekit's a huge racist now, so that's the thing. Yeah, Kerry linked me that thread a second ago. It did seem quite familiar to my thing, but and I saw people were mistakenly talking about my thing again in the comments there. People seem to believe that I apologized for my thing. I didn't really apologize. There might have been sort of a roundabout circular apology, but there wasn't really an apology in my video because I don't really feel like I should apologize for my thing. I know my thing looks ridiculously unbelievable, but it is what it is. And I'm not going to say sorry for something when I genuinely don't feel like I'm not what I was being accused of being. But, you know. But, yeah, I don't know. I guess there's probably more people talking about that in the comments here. For the 15 event, I'd recommend doing it more for the outfit, the hair, and the music than the mount. I'm glad to have the car, but I wouldn't have grinded for it if I didn't already have the points. Go find a target dummy and try out the floating text. I was thinking of trying it out myself, so it'd be nice to get a preview of it. Yeah, I haven't seen it. Well, I won't do a target dummy, but we'll see it as we're questing here. Hello, Boots. It's good to see you, man. Oh, I really like it. Do you guys notice how consistent Boots is in chat? I'm not even talking about Guild Wars here, really. And here he is. The exclamation mark above the Chocobo porters just unlocks them. Yeah, I know. I got all the porters in the core game. Taskmaster's amazing. Yeah, I only just discovered Taskmaster. I only just... Like, my brother told me about it, and I was like, what? Because I'm a big fan of panel shows, and I've seen a lot of them. And that's kind of more of a game show / panel show. It's not really a panel show in any way, is it? But, I mean, really, really great. I mean, the thing is with that show, it's only been going 6 years or so. But they do, like, 2 seasons a year, and they do all these specials. So it looks like it's been going forever, but it hasn't really. Lady Iceheart says, where could he have gone? I don't know who she's talking about there, actually. Oh, Alphino, maybe? Just Alphino? I'm trying to catch up with chat before we start playing the game. If you can get into the story, then by the time you get to Endwalker, you will be excited. They do good work building up the story and getting you interested. They are so far. And I gotta say, I do very much prefer and enjoy sort of the tone and sort of the slightly more mature bent that I feel like this game has. I don't think it's presented as well as Guild Wars, but what it's presenting is more up my alley. Did the Potato see the new Job trailer? I saw a bit of an announcement stream they did like 3 weeks ago that looked very excited. Have I got Noctis's gear? No, I haven't. I haven't done any of that. I haven't done any of the crossover stuff. I've done very little in this game because I play it slow. I play it very slow. I think they make it work. It's just the lore here and there to fit into the universe of the game. They ground them in this game's lore. They're more homages to other games rather than the exact copies. Oh, okay. Oh, wow. Boots, you've been streaming, have you? He streamed twice last week, but that was like the first time in 5 years. Did you? Oh, I actually have a message from you on Discord. That's not you inviting me to a stream, is it? And I missed it completely. How did you do streaming solo? Because you've told me before that, you know, you're a bit like me. You much prefer to be doing something with someone else. Right, okay. So let's just quickly recap here with the quest. As Alphino muses on how the party can best locate Hraesvelgr. So we're looking for Hraesvelgr, who, if I remember correctly, this is the dragon that consumed Shiva. Was it Shiva? Was it Shiva that was consumed? Why is she a primal now? Why is Shiva herself a primal? Anyway, so Hraesvelgr was like nice or loved a human. So we're thinking, okay, we can get Hraesvelgr to go to who's the Dreadworm? I remember his title, the Dreadworm. What is the big dragon's name? I can't remember. But the big bad dragon who's leading this attack, we're hoping Hraesvelgr can, you know, say, all right, stop it. And Ysayle, Lady Iceheart, who once upon a time betrayed the Easish Guardians, she likes the dragons and that side of the dragon conflict. She thinks the dragons deserve this land, blah, blah, blah. She's sort of helping us. But, oh yeah, we found moogles. That was it. And a moogle ran off. And we're hoping that, yeah, there you go. We're hoping that the moogle can tell us where Hraesvelgr is. And we're looking for Alphino because he's just ran up ahead as well. So anyway, yeah, there were etheric disturbances. These will eventually allow us to fly. Wait, the nearby air appears warped. You sense that concealing magics are at work. Can you guys just confirm to me that the Nidhogg, that's it. Thank you, everyone. Can you confirm to me you can hear the game at a decent volume? Like, it's not overpowering or whatever. Right, okay, so I can't do anything with the disturbances yet. So here, immediately, by the way, with the sprint, I kind of don't want to see my active effect rolling by on floating text. I think that the information's already there. I can already see what's on. Like, that's just a complete waste. And you got to remember, I come from playing a monk. You guys haven't seen that in this playthrough. But as a monk, you're swapping stances like every ability, basically. Which means you get just all this insane word vomit all over the screen. Because it's like, a stance is like 3 words. Fist of Flurry, you know. Or, well, no, it's not actually, is it? What are the stances called? It's like curl stance and Malboro stance and monkey stance or something. Anyway, bah, he's gone. Macon, we must widen our search. Okay. I really like this thing where I get to follow the NPCs around. Okay, so it actually wants me to go down now. You know, I kind of hate day-night cycles because I think this looks really good and really pretty right now. And I sort of wish that... You know, I'm very authoritative now. I'm like, this should be the way that this zone looks. I don't want anyone to miss out on how cool this looks. And at night, it's just going to be a bit drab. I mean, you'll have a different kind of vibe. It will be, like, pretty. Descent to the Forelands. Is this... Well, that's the other map, isn't it? I don't want to go there, really, do I? Oh, this guy's eating food. You know what? Maybe I should do that. I wouldn't even know how to identify what in here is food. I got an orchestral roll. To be honest with you guys, I've never actually used those, but I always unlock them because, you know, it's something. Right, I can eat a Gasol green as well. Or, well, I wouldn't eat it. I'll feed my Chocobo a Gasol green. That way my fighting will be a little bit quicker. That also means I get a little bit less practice with the global cooldown weaving stuff, but hey. Alright, so we're going just backwards, back through the cave. Oh my god, this whole stream so far has been me going up and down this ramp. Remember when we were like, oh man, wouldn't it be cool if Guild Wars 2 had proper day-night cycles, like it's pitch black? Yeah, I think, the day-night cycle thing, the fact that night is not dark at all in Guild Wars 2 is sort of a microcosm of something going on across the whole game and even the whole MMO industry, I think, which is that they have to be tame and they have to be like middle of the road and they can't do anything that artistic or that powerful because they're trying to juggle a wide player base, you know, on a wide consumer base, and also it's a lot of chefs in the kitchen too. The devs, there's a lot of people and there's a lot of collaboration, a lot of meeting, and it just sort of mutes shit. So, you know, they can't have a very dark night because someone will be like, oh, this I can't see anything, this game's bad, and they'll uninstall. Because, you know, there's so many different monitor calibrations and areas of the world people play in that affects the ambient light that strikes their screen and blah, 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 blah. So it means you get, like, these really lame, like, milquetoast shit things. You know, so it's one of the reasons I think MMOs, a lot of the time, aren't ever that... They're never really that powerful. Because they have to angle for this sort of central lane. But you look at small indie games that don't have wide ambition and they can be very powerful. I say that now before I get to Endwalker. All the Final Fantasy fans in chat are going to convince me that this game's amazing. So, right, I've heard tales of these moogles. And it's not just day-night cycle. Like I said, it's a microcosm. You see that everywhere in the design or all over the place. I heard these tales of moogles, but it's the first time I ever laid eyes on one. They are rather adorable, aren't they? Why do you stare at me so? Can I not find such a creature adorable? My heart is not truly made of ice. Oh, so she's being sweet for possibly the first time? Have we heard her be sweet before? Okay, so now we do these. These are not what I thought they were. I thought they were the Aethan Currents, but they're clearly not. Oh, no, they are. They are. It's just this is different. What does Estinian think of the moogles? I see no evidence of this moogle of yours. Are you certain it wasn't a trick of the light? Mayhaps 'twas simply one of these strange plants shifting in a breeze. I wonder how many players at this point in the story are now reading all the dialogue as it goes along. So the question is, where's the last one? It's not the disturbances. It's just whatever says like destination, like this here. I guess this will be our own observation rather than our companions. Oh, yeah, it's not a Malboro stance, it's something else. Yeah, Kuro Raptor and Oppo. I don't, to be honest with you, I can't really remember what an Oppo is. There's no sign of the Moogle in this area. I mean, this here is a good example of how this game stretches shit out. I mean, it's genuinely got... I know I'm talking to chat a lot, but it genuinely got a good 6-7 minutes of playtime out of me there. For the equivalent of just wander around pressing F on things. I'm sure I glimpsed the Moogle fleeing in this direction. This section doesn't have to exist at all. I'm not criticizing the game right now, by the way. I'm actually admiring it. I'm sure I glimpsed the Moogle fleeing in this direction. Could he be concealing himself with magic? Wow, we get a lot of items here. Are these finally starting to be better? They are, actually. Look at that. I get +1 on some of these. Eye level 133. Jesus, it takes this long into Heavensward to start bumping the eye level up. Alphino seems convinced that the Moogles hold the key to finding Hraesvelgr. It's a monkey. Oh, did I say monkey stance a second ago? Confound it. Could we but enlist the aid of one of the local Moogles? I'm certain Hraesvelgr would not elude us for long. Estinian says, though the eye enables me to sense the presence of dragons, I can only identify nidhogg's with any certainty. We could wander the mist for days and not know if we're any closer to his brood brother. Oh, interesting. So, he has nidhogg's eye. It is nidhogg's eye he has, right? It's not Hraesvelgr's eye. It's nidhogg's eye. And that means he can see nidhogg's brood. But... you know, the other 7. How many was it? The 7 sons or sons and daughters of Midgårdssormr? We could wander for days and not know if we're any closer to his brood brother. And those are days we cannot well afford to squander. Shall we divide our forces then? Lady Ysael, may I ask you to question any dragons whom you judge it safe to approach? You think 2012 personal story is more exciting than this? I think it depends on how... I think there is merit to what you're saying in terms of, like, the personal story is very shallow. This is very, like, easy entry point. But there's no substance to the personal story. Not really. I mean, it is just this formulaic, like when you're at the Lesser Races arc, right? Which is, if you really look at it, the worst part of the personal story. In terms of, like, there's really no dialogue there, and they were very, very scrapped for time. There's no difference between any of the storylines, really. You're just going through the motions. There's no real difference between the Order's stories. There's no real... So, like, what ArenaNet did was they broke what could have been a good, cohesive single story into loads of little ones that don't even feel distinct from each other. So there's like, no pleasure to it at all. This game at least has one solid single through line, and it works really well. This is eons more sophisticated, the writing and the amount of stories that are going on. The thing is, in order to enjoy that, you do have to focus up, I think. With Guild Wars 2, it's so shallow at the personal story level. It's so shallow. You can jump in at any moment, so there is merit to what you're saying. I can imagine, like, someone just casually turned on my stream here, and they're like, okay, should I follow WP playing this? And I can imagine them being bored silly right now, like, really fucking silly. Like, I'm actually insecure that this is a bad stream because there isn't an easy entry point. And I haven't given you one either. I mean, I didn't start at the beginning of the MMO. At any point in the personal story, you probably could. You could understand it. Because it's presented better as well. Guild Wars presents it better. Anyway, I shall try. I fear the influence of Nidhogg's rage will render most of the Dravanians in the area deaf to reason. And what of you, Master Alphino? I've not yet given up on the Moogles. Making, come with me to Gridania. I mean to petition the aid of the Moogles kin in the Twelveswood. After that business with Mooglemog, I dare say they will be glad to help us. This is weird. Assuming you have no need of me, I shall remain here. Nidhogg senses both the loss of his consort and the coming of the Eye, and his attention is firmly fixed in this direction. I mean to do what I can to hold his gaze, in the hope that it might delay any action against Ishgard. I thought we heard that he didn't care about the Eye anymore. He only cared about Ishgard. So that's now changed? Thank you, Estinian. Come then, Macon. Let us make haste for Gridania and rendezvous at the Norfica's altar. But I neglected to tell you, there's an aetheryte of ancient construction here which should make the return journey rather less arduous. Pray do not forget to use it. Yeah, I was literally thinking through all of that, like, are they embracing aetherytes in the story or not? Because we definitely had, on the previous stream, some moments where they were sort of suggesting we walked. And if that's the idea, it's fucking crazy to come all this distance on the adventure and then just turn around and wander off to Gridania. So I wanted to hear that they said, you know, the Aetherites are a part of the plan here, and that's exactly what they did, so that's cool. So I'm going to make sure I have the Aetherite at Mogholm. It is interesting that if I was just skipping the quest text, it might not register for me to do this, and I might just, bugger off. I suppose it's not a big deal, though, because you can skip the dungeon now. Oh, I guess I'd already done this. Register free destination. What does that mean? Can someone in chat teach me about this? What does it mean to register as a free destination? Alright, so the Black Shroud. Old Gridania? I can't just click any old, can I? I guess I have to go to New Gridania and then move up. 600 gil, that's getting a little bit pricier. It means you can TP back when dead, or use special spell to TP for free there. I thought that's just what being a home point meant. So why is that distinct from being a home point? Because doesn't a home point offer those? Like, can someone just list out an explanation of the 3? If that's okay, please. They're really embracing the high fantasy language dialogue in this, aren't they? Oh, Boots. Yes. Christ, they are. There's a character called Urianger who is so painful. In a lot of ways, I'm really happy I skipped playing through the A Realm Reborn stuff on a stream before you guys, because voicing all of his dialogue would have been a nightmare. It's so convoluted, and it's so packed, and so archaic, and so full of jargon. It's like wading through treacle to just get through a single sentence. And he has like pages of like exposition to dump on you. It's agonizing. I'm hoping it's not so bad as the story goes along. Luckily, he's not in this expansion story very much, but I'm sure he'll come back. Oh, the Boots WP Elite Spec review. Yeah, that was what I wanted to do. Oh, Boots, you could come and save the day, man. That could be the YouTube video I make. Do you want to record that tomorrow? I wonder whether he would. I feel like I'm taking advantage of how willing he's been to do videos with me recently. You really hope we'll get the Shadowbringers streams as well now? Well, so far I'm really enjoying this. If the audience is enjoying it and keep coming back for more, then there is no reason this would stop. I sent word to the Elder Seedseer upon arriving in Gridania, and I am pleased to report that she has agreed to grant us an audience. If anyone can help us to contact the 12wood moogles, it is she. We are expected the Lotus Stand. I trust you're familiar with the Conjurer Station data center. Do you know what I think they're going to do? I think they're going to reuse the King Moogle Morg, like, mission area, because there's been a little bit of, like, dastardly reuse of older shit in this expansion already. I think they're going to do that again. The Elder Seedseer awaits you. Pray follow me. I quite like how they've added an expansion with some new areas to go to, but they keep weaving the player base back to the old stuff as well, so the populations remain integrated. This is like having story steps at Divinity's Reach during Path of Fire, you know, but like in the middle of it. Or in Heart of Thorns being asked to go back to Ratasum. You know, there's that moment in Heart of Thorns where you can see Ratasum from Dragon's Stand. You know, ArenaNet are so fucking laser focused and narrow with what they do. That's it, you get a nice little Easter egg. And it's a great Easter egg. I don't want to use something cool to criticize the game. But the idea that we actually go back there for a while and blah, 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 you know, that there's an arc of Heart of Thorns where the Mordrim actually get through into Metrica Province or whatever. Guildwars doesn't do any of that, but this game does. I bid you welcome, friends. The Admiral spoke of having met with you, but 'tis no less of a relief to see you safe and hail with mine own eyes. We humbly thank you for agreeing to receive us upon such short notice, my lady, and for all you've done for us in our absence. Would that it were solely to express our gratitude that we came to you this day. Alas, the tides of battle yet dictate our comings and goings. Elder Seedseer, we would beg your wisdom in a matter that may finally bring an end to the Dragon Song War. Why is it called the Dragon Song War? Speak on, friend. Why is it called the Dragon Song War? Is the war actually going to be over by the end of this pack? I wouldn't put it past the game to do that, to actually change the status quo of the world. I see, so you seek a means to contact these moogles of the Churning Mists. Kupo, I say, Kupo! Should we give him a deep voice? Because I'm not feeling very up to doing a high-pitched voice at the moment. Greetings, Kuplo Cop. To what do we owe the pleasure of your company? I was struck by the sudden urge to bring you some fruit candy, and I'm jolly glad I did. Tell me more about these moogles in the sky, Kupo. I will gladly tell you all I know, though it amounts to precious little. We encountered a moogle high in the clouds of Dravania and hoped that you and your kin in the Twelveswood might agree to facilitate a meeting. Pray correct me if I'm mistaken, Kuplo, but are there legends? There are legends, are there not, which speak of moogles who dwelled beyond the clouds? Indeed there are, Kupo. Long, long ago, back when the world was still young, they say my ancestors served the gods up in the heavens. Of course, that was before their masters took to bickering like spoiled children. Okay, hold on. Isn't this the story of 12? Or am I getting it confused? In one of the Final Fantasies, it's either in Evilis or it's here. They did a thing where... Or was it 15? No, in 15 it's just like a stupid little plush toy, isn't it? In one of those universes, the moogles did serve the gods, and they got thrown down or whatever. I think it was this game. It has to have been. Because they're saying it here anyway. Ah yes, the tale of good King Moogle the 12th. He is revered for holding fast to a rope of miraculous length, that his subjects might climb down from the sky and escape to the world below. Oh wow, so that's how they got out of the heaven. Wait, so they were serving the gods. The gods started fighting and there was like chaos in the heavens. What even are the heavens in the context of this world? And he let down a rope so that the moogles could escape. That's really cool. Did I learn about that already ages ago during the like season 1 stuff? Ignoring the more fanciful aspects of the tale, it may well be that Kuplo's ancestors hailed from the Churning mists. Given how long his kin have resided in the Twelveswood, I love that myth though. It's perfectly possible that the details of their history have faded into myth. Indeed, Master Alphino, such stories often contain a measure of truth. 'Tis like the moogles of the Churning mists tell similar tales of the world below. I can well imagine why the one you encountered fled at your approach. When we summoned good King Moogle, couldn't we have asked him this stuff? Obviously, we didn't care, so we wouldn't have. But in theory, could we do that again now if we really wanted to? Oh, fleeing second nature to us. We often hide where the larger races come tramping through the forest. Of course, where there's one Moogle, there's bound to be more. Which is why I've decided to make a trip to the clouds, Kupo. They surely won't be afraid to talk to me. I've changed his voice. I'm sorry, guys. You're not going to get great pantomime in this stream. I'm still not 100%. I was hoping you might say that, Master Kuplo. You will accompany us then? Just you try and stop me, Kupo. I'll admit that the thought of venturing outside the Twelveswood is a bit unsettling, but I can hardly refuse a chance to meet my distant cousins. I was reading about sci-fi the other day. What was I reading? I was reading about, there was some sci-fi conversation. Anyway, someone brought something to my attention that I thought was really fascinating. You know how in like Stargate, to save on like budget for aliens and shit, they like wrote into the lore of the Stargate universe that everyone's like a human derivative race or whatever, and they're all spread out on different planets connected by the Stargates. So they're aliens, but they're going to walk on 2 legs, they're going to have 2 hands, they're going to have 2, they look like humans, and it's because, basic. And they sort of built that into the lore, the idea that there are humans everywhere. I read someone's like idea that it wasn't a conversation about like media or anything, but that like really thinking, what if some aliens came to Earth, 200,000 years ago, blessed this species with the gift of language, or a little bit higher cognition, and just sort of sat back and watched what happened, but they took some with them and seeded another planet. That there was just the concept that there literally genuinely might be humans elsewhere in the universe right now, or the galaxy more realistically, that that are just more sophisticated than us, that are living out there, and we're like, you know, primitives. It was something I'd never considered. You know, you always think about alien life and sophisticated alien life. You're always imagining something that's biologically different. But the idea that like that Stargate thing could actually be happening IRL, it was phrased in such an eloquent way. It really opened my eyes. I was like, that's a cool thought. Anyway, I've told that story terribly. If you have me, I too will accompany you on this venture and lend my voice to your cause as an ambassador of Gridania. Oh wow, really? Oh look, they're all shocked too. See, this is good. My reaction, and they all react the same way. My lady, are you quite certain? Yeah, you coming? How oft does our nation turn to the Scions as the seventh dawn in its hour of need? How oft have we asked the Warrior of Light to risk his life to save our own? Yeah, but this is like full many times, I say to you, and never have they refused us. Thus do I choose this day to offer mine and our allies for the good of the realm. Oh, what a bitch, to be honest. Like, I've pulled her coals out of the fire in some significant ways. Some very significant ways. And this is how she's paying me back on a little, no, I'll help you find a fucking Moogle. Now that's some politicking right there. That's some dastardly shit. The Moogle's a northerner. No, I was trying to do like a London-y thing. Is this not just? Yeah, right, fine. I'll take your hollow. But it's an interesting new character to come with us. A most unexpected and most welcome offer, Elder Seedseer. We would be honoured by your presence. I feel like she'd be a burden, you know. In as much as, like, she probably needs a significant entourage to make sure she's safe. You can't just have, like, a political figure wandering around, not realistically. It's a lot to explain. I don't know. I'd rather she just hire someone competent to move with us rather than come herself. It's just so foolhardy. Anyway, pray return to the summit and inform our companions of these developments. I will serve as the Elder Seedseer's guide on the journey back to Solmar. It being a difficult path I've already trodden, I do not... Yeah, like what? He's going to take her up the fucking Dragon Mountain. Yeah, okay, they're bringing in her personal guards to escort them. Right, back to Dravania. To what end are they bringing the Elder Seedseer into this story? That's a weird development. I have to believe it's going somewhere. What stake does she have in any of this? Why would you construct the story in such a way? Like, I get the idea of, like, manufacturing a mini-arc that puts people back in Gridania for a second. For, like, the gameplay purposes and stuff. But in terms of, like, a broader story idea, like, what role... Is she going to go to the Great Houses or something? I mean, what are they doing with her? It's hard to tell with this game where they're going with anything. Because they'll set up a story and it will be so fucking long before I get an answer to it. That I just don't know whether it is all a master plan yet. I mean, I have to trust that it is because people start really singing this game's praises. Why do the rocks look so weird? Magic, maybe, or just the game doesn't look very good. I mean, Final Fantasy fans will begrudgingly hear that, I think, but a lot of the time the game doesn't look that good. You got to get like the right frame, the right area, and then it's stunning. It's amazing, but you do have to, you know, the general assets and way that they're painted in this game, I think looks a bit naff. Well met, Warrior of Light. Nidhogg is not stirred, but he watches us unblinking. I am loud enough, right, guys, because I'm talking quieter and quieter as we go. The Elder Seedseer herself answers your call. Then there is naught to do but wait. She's the head of the shamans in Eorzea. Moogles are spirits, I think, so it's her job. Oh, really? Okay. They're here making. Greetings, my friends. I'm happy to report that our journey was mercifully uneventful, devoid as the road was of Dravanians. It would seem the dragons have abandoned Solmar for the Churning mists. So where we now are. Elder Seedseer, may I present to you Sir Estinian, Ishgard's Azure Dragoon. I never thought I'd have a scene between these two. What on earth is this? I like that, though. This is what I really like in Guild Wars as well, or just any fantasy franchise that I'm into. I like it when the paths cross. You know, before it went off a cliff, that was something that I always thought Game of Thrones was very good at as well. You know, being a POV series as it was, a chapter dedicated to each character. It's really interesting when you see people from like totally different areas of the world cross over, and you see how, like, you know, their personalities change a bit and they rub off on each other a little bit differently. I love it in Guild Wars as well, because Guild Wars, this is a criticism of Guild Wars, I think everything's too separate. They've got so many different characters and set pieces, and I don't really get a great sense of like a lot of cross-pollination, and the reason for that is there's not enough quantity, there's not enough meat or weight to their stories, like time to do shit like that. But what would be a good example? Like, I couldn't imagine Smodor in the Balthazar arc. Do you know what I mean? It would be really cool, and I think he'd have stuff to say there. But there's just like no time for that or whatever. Do you know what I mean? There's hardly time to talk to the priests and priestesses of the human religion, if you will. But I like this then. This is kind of reverse. I'm just trying to find a really good example of like totally disparate characters that you guys can maybe think of. I mean, there's a little bit of it, to be fair. You know, like Almora in the Icebrood Saga. I don't know. I mean, that's all Char conflict and Vigil and stuff. No, I'm talking about something different to the whole Zodja thing. You're not checking out New World like everyone else is today? No, I'm not. I'm a little bit interested in New World, but I want to focus on this a bit more for the next couple of weeks at least. I don't know how that lines up with their betas and shit. If you guys have opinions on New World, I'm interested to hear them, because I would like... The path I would like to go down is more variety MMO stuff. I really would like to do that. So, should New World be on my list? That's going to be based on testimony, I hear. It's literally the launch day. Oh, it's launch. It's not beta, it's actual launch, is it? Interesting. You tried it, it's so boring. Okay, yeah, so chat, what's all your opinions on the New World launch, just as I play through this dialogue a bit? It is an honour to meet you, Sir Estinian, and I have heard many tales of your order's extraordinary skill and courage. If Boots is there, by the way, everything I'm playing is free. You should pick up this game. We could play it together on stream. Friends, I feel only right to inform you that we are not alone. The moogles are all around us, even as we speak. Who am I kidding with that there, Boots? I'll be doing this alone, 100%. The moogles are all around us, even as we speak. And I should imagine that they are more than a little concerned by the horde of strangers that have descended upon their home. Mayhap now would be an opportune moment to introduce ourselves. Holy shit, there's a 10,000 player queue. Seems a little slow for you. Yeah, it is slow. You'll acclimate to it though, and I think you'd enjoy it. I really do think. I think it would be up. I think it's your kind of vibe, the way the story's structured and stuff. It is very slow, and I'm playing it even slower. I'm making it look slower than it is. But I don't know, I think you acclimate to it, and you'll see some good stuff. Anyway, this should serve. They're hiding, of course, but there are so many of them, Kupo. Oh, wait, I've lost the plot. So he's saying there's loads of these moogles, this new variety of moogle here. I am Kani Senna. My companions and I have braved the long road from the Twelveswood to share words with you. On this occasion of our first meeting, we bring an offering of light and wind. Mediocre, and you don't trust Amazon games to not just dissolve in a year? Amazon games isn't one thing, though. You do realise that. Well, actually, I don't know. It never used to be. It might be now. I don't know. But it was different like mini groups, mini studios within Amazon that made like Crucible and were making Breakaway and were making New World. Maybe they're all combined now. I don't know. Oh, such a gentle and pleasing glow, Kupo. I am Moglin, the chieftain of this Moogle clan. Is he really big, or is that just camera trickery? Chieftain Moglin, it is an honour to meet you. Greetings, I'm Kuplo Kop, ambassador of the Twelveswood Moogles. A Moogle from the world below? Your hide is of a different hue, but that pom is unmistakable. I might need a moment here, Kupo. My companions were no less surprised to learn of your existence here amongst the clouds. I hope they did not startle you overmuch in their eagerness to make your acquaintance. Full well I can imagine your wariness. I'm told that men have not walked here in nigh on 1,000 winters. So are these guys going to be another beast tribe? Is it like, because there's already a Moogle beast tribe, isn't it? Do they kind of do it again? Mayhap you will forgive them their forwardness when I unfold to you the grave matter which first brought them into your midst. My companions crave an audience with the great worm Hraesvelgr, and that they might negotiate an end to the war twixt man and dragon. An end to the war, you say? I trust you, Kani Senna. The light of peace shines brilliantly within your soul. But I'm afraid the same cannot be said of your friends. To be plain, we did not hide ourselves because they were the first of your kind to be seen here in 1,000 years. Well, not only because of that. We hid because we smelled dragon blood. Estinian. These skies are home to many, many dragons. While some crave peace, such as Hraesvelgr, many others... Oh, so confirmation Hraesvelgr does still like the idea of peace. As far as I understand, we'd heard the tale before, but we hadn't really heard any contemporary information about the guy, so that's good. Many others crave the opposite, such as Nidhogg. Suffice it to say, we are worried that the presence of your blood-spattered warrior friends will attract the attention of the nastier kind and invite destruction into our happy home. Well, that sounds like exactly what's happening. Kuplo says, now just a moment, chieftain. Macon here may have doled out the odd thrashing or two, but it's always been for a really good reason. He's a champion of the Twelveswood Moogles, and I'll not hear his good name slandered. Now, Ambassador, let's not ruffle each other's fur. I shall, of course, take your testimony into consideration. If I may, chieftain, there is little room for trust twixt strangers. Might we not take this opportunity to learn more of each other? An excellent suggestion, Kupo. In the interest of fostering friendship and keeping an eye on you, I extend to you the hospitality of Moghome. Prove yourselves worthy of our assistance, and it will be yours. I'll be watching. Okay, so this is just like the Realm Reborn. I'm going to do another mini arc now in which I befriend these guys, right? Which is very status quo for this game. You're bummed about the Lord of the Rings MMO being cancelled. Oh, was it? See, this is the kind of news I could get behind covering for you guys. The Lord of the Rings MMO got cancelled. When did it happen? A few months ago? Maybe a year? Time isn't real anymore. Cancelled due to contract disputes with Tencent. Ah. To be honest, that looked like a sort of lame corporate. Everything about that story seemed a bit... I don't know. It was also weird, like looking at the websites and just hearing, oh, this company merged with this company to partner up on this property. It didn't get very far at all, you could tell, because it was... It's like people were talking about it in the stage where it was just being petitioned, you know? So, I don't know. Alright, by the way, what is this? Oh. Oh, my lord, Moglin's up there. I was very confused about. Oh, he's there. He looks pretty good, eh? Hello, Moglin. Tell me, in the world down below, do all your kind look so different from one another? It must be terribly disconcerting. What was it Koplo Cop called you again? Kuplo Cop? Macon, if your names are as odd as your appearance. Have you ever considered a nice Moogle name? Moglin is taken, by the way, Kupo. Oh, I like him a lot. As a Moggen, Mogmug, and Mogwin. These being the names of the 3 wise Moogles who will administer the momentous challenges that I have devised to measure your worth. I call them the trials of trustworthiness. Why do I feel like they're going to do a hear no evil, speak no evil, see no evil thing? I think I got the order of that wrong. What are they called? The wise... Are they monkeys? Why have I got monkeys in the brain? What's that from? Undertake these trials and we shall soon see whether or not you are worthy of our aid. So more useless materia, but I can collect like a claymore, I guess? Now this only gives me +1 physical damage. It does have 2 materia slots though. So it might actually be kind of fun. To play around with. But how do I put materia on stuff? I don't actually know how any of that works. Oh, it gives me a little bit more strength and stuff. I mean, it's going to be such a lame skin, though. Well, I guess let's have a look at it. The sword is one of the only things I really... I mean, look at that. That's rubbish. I can't glamour it, can I? I'm not much of a Fashion Wars person, but it's such a tiny amount of stats that doesn't even matter that I'm gonna go back to our cool class weapon. Okay, so Moghan, hello. Morgan would test your trustworthiness with a trial. What would spell speed do for a Dark Knight? A full spell speed. I don't really have many spells, do I? Hello, yes, I'm Morgan, the foremost alchemist in Mogholm, if you must know. Oh, I can see why, like, animation speed doesn't matter much in the context of weaving. You'd have to, like, get enough spell speed that you can, like, triple cast between weaves or something for it to matter. Like, there's probably really hefty breakpoints before that's fun to invest in this game. If your tummy's gloopy or your wings are droopy, I have a potion to fix that. Or I would if I didn't keep running out of ingredients. Luckily, you're here to do my trial. Yes, go forth, my adventurer, and mightily pluck 3 sprigs of cloud's breath from me. You'll find it blooming near the entrance to Ailton. It's not the safest of places, so don't let yourself be too distracted by the pretty flowers, Chocobo. Holy crap, some loud hail just started slamming against the window I'm next to. Can you guys hear that? Holy crap. Yeah, apparently yesterday was the last day of, like, good blue sky sunny weather for this year. It's the UK, so I believe it. That looks cool, but it's only for the red mage. Hold on, I thought red mage was added, like, way later. Isn't red mage the next expansion? Am I wrong about that? Is red mage cool? How come there's a red mage item? They're all caster items. So when they added... So it is later. So Red Mage is one of the newest classes they've added. That's cool. I didn't realise that about Red Mage. And I'm already inclined to be a fan of Red Mage. So, hold on. Why am I getting items in Heavensward for the Red Mage? When they added it, did they go back and change all the loot lists and stuff? Now that's impressive. That's something ArenaNet definitely don't do. Mogwin's the name and art is my game. When it comes to painting, there are none in Mogholm who can match my talent with a brush, Chocobo. I know why you've come. Chieftain Moglin has demanded that I test your trustworthiness, but as I trust no one to create art that will satisfy me, I instead charge you with retrieving a masterpiece I seem to have misplaced. It was an ambitious and innovative work, guaranteed to fetch at least 4 Chocobo nuts on the open market. You must find it. Question the masses. Surely a pebble painted with such vibrant colour and unmistakable panache cannot have escaped the notice of every Moogle in Mogholm. Oh God. I'm just going to try and do all of these at once. What does Mogmo want me to do? I mean, that's bound to be the most efficient, right? Mogwin is missing his masterpiece, Chocobo? Oh, you mean that paint-smeared mess of a pebble? I've not seen it recently, a fact for which my eyes are proudly grateful. Is Red Mage this game's Mesmer? Well, no, I only know it from classic Final Fantasy games, where it's both White Mage and Black Mage at the same time. So it's like it's the all-rounder caster, you know. It's not it's a caster that can be healing, and it's a caster that can be doing damage. But the thing is, it just didn't get like the top level spells. It didn't have like its own exclusive stuff, but it had a really big set of things it could do. It was really fun. I know it from Final Fantasy 1. That's where I know it most. And you could turn into the Red Wizard. I don't know how that functions in the context of this MMO. It's going to need its own special shit. So I don't know what they give it. I don't know what it does in this game. I couldn't tell you. Maybe it's a healer. Maybe it's a DPS. I would guess it's a DPS. Is it a half and half? Does half and half even exist, though? Because there's no space for that on LFG. Maestro Mogwin has misplaced his masterpiece, Chocobo? Oh, happy day. If I'm the swifter in finding it, I will soon have a genuine Mogwin for the price of a little perspiration. Honestly, who has 4 Chocobo nuts is just lying about to spend on such luxuries. Alright, off he goes. Okay. Now, where's this last inhabitant? He's close. Hello, Mogto. It's a mage with a ranged and melee phase. Oh, so they kind of give you 2 ranges to play with. So that's why how it feels hybridy. That's interesting. Does it have any iconic, like, anthology stuff? Like, I wouldn't be surprised to hear that Black Mage gets, like, Ultima, but Red Mage gets Flare. I wouldn't be surprised to hear that. I don't think that's right, though. I don't even think Ultima is a spell in this game, is it? I think Black Mage still has Flare, doesn't it? But is there anything? Is there anything anthology related that the Red Mage gets? What kind of sucks about the MMO is, like, Holy, right? White Mage gets Holy. But because there's this constant sense of, like, marching forwards, what you want is Holy to be the ultimate iconic ability. But, you know, if it's, like, a couple of expansions out of date, there's going to be other skills that came later that have eclipsed Holy. So now it doesn't feel like Holy anymore because it's being... And I guess eventually they've... is this game at the point where they just invent random new shit? I mean, I recognise very little from Monk, I can tell you that much. This class I recognise stuff, like Soul Eater is something I recognise. Red Mage have the Holy and the Flare. What the fuck is that? The Holy? The Flare? Oh, they adjust for it and put it on higher levels. Oh, do they? So Holy used to be at like level 60 and now it's like at level 80 or whatever. What is max? It's 80, isn't it, in this game? Vermilion Holy. What the fuck? Oh, Holy is still the best at White Mage AoE. Will that be true next X back, though? When did Holy get added? Alright, anyway, let me... I don't know much about a stone, but I do know Mogwin's been creeping out the back way to Solmar's summit from time to time, Kupo. Maybe he left it up there. Okay. I kind of want to grab this before I go. I ate that Gasol Green, and I haven't used it for a second. So exceedingly fluffy. Oh, I like her. I like that she's actually, like... It's nice. I like these moments where you got, like, some cold-hearted fuck, and then there's the moment where the ice cracks a little bit, and you realise, oh, there is something nice about them. Mogmug would test your trustworthiness with a trial. Holy's level 40. Wow, you get a level 40 and it's still like the top damage. The thing is, that's a bit weird, isn't it? Because White Mage is a healer, isn't it? Do any other healers do a lot of damage at the same time? I mean, everyone does a bit of damage in this game, right? But my understanding is that it's like a tiny proportion. Otherwise, you'd just stack all healers and you wouldn't have a DPS. I appreciate they all do damage, but what I'm saying is why... Because Holy sounds shit in that context, doesn't it? It's not really Holy. You get Holy in a traditional Final Fantasy game. It's like end game, and you've suddenly flipped your healer into a DPS. That's what you've done. In normal Final Fantasy structure, they're like hardcore. Holy will fucking bomb things harder than, like, you know, full-on DPS characters. It's like a sudden activation of a whole new DPS character. But it can't be that in this game because they're backline healers, so it's only a small proportion. So, okay, it's good, but it's only White Mage good. Do you know what I mean? White Mage is the most selfish DPS. Scholar is a mid-level buffer. Astro is lowest self DPS and most raid buffs. It sounds like I'd probably like Astro the most then. It used to feel even more impactful, but that was because it had a longer cast time. Doesn't Holy also do AoE stun? Is that what it does? There's a Blue Mage thing that does that. There's like a deep freeze Blue Mage thing which completely destroys the dungeons. I know that because I had a friend that was doing it. Yes, you have the pleasure of speaking with Mogmug. I know. I'm the fluffiest, most enchanting creature you have ever laid eyes upon, Kupo. It isn't easy being this adorable. I can barely take a stroll outside without those relentless Dravanians throwing themselves at me. Why, they look as if they might just gobble me right up. In any case, fleeing their overbearing adulation is growing quite a bit tiresome. Your trial, sir, is this. Find these ardent archosaurs and slap some manners into them. Perhaps a firm smack on the snout will teach them to appreciate my charm from afar. Right. The lamest justification, but the coolest quest, that one, which is to actually fight something. Well, what did you find out, Kupo? I found out that he left. Ah, yes. Now that you mention it, I do seem to recall leaving my pebble out to dry in the sun. Ahem, the second part of your trial commences. Go, adventurer, to retrieve my masterpiece before some art-starved admirer swipes the stone for himself. I like that these, like, isolated moogles have art in their culture. The Fury take these ridiculous flying rodents. See, now it's Estinian that's being culled. They're constantly drawing a thing. Are both Estinian and Ysael going to survive this story? I'm worried about them. They're really fun characters to sort of go on an adventure with. Moggy, oh. Well, if this isn't one of the visitors from below, are you searching for something? If so, just ask. I pride myself on being the second most well-informed moogle here. Okay, what do you do? Why, I'm in charge of guarding the entrance to Mogholm. If I see any of the many miraculous monsters get too close, or if anything else is even slightly out of the ordinary, it's my duty to report straight to Chieftain Moglin or the Pom Guard, Kupo. The Pom Guard. I can't do that voice for very long. Of course, when something's amiss, a timely and detailed report of the utmost importance. So focus and knowledge are necessary to be excellent guard. That's why, next to Chieftain Moglin, I'm the second most well-informed moogle in all of Mogholm. If anything's troubling you or you have any questions, chances are I'll be able to help. We won't be hiding or running away anymore. Kupo! Okay, so what kind of place is this? As the name implies, Mogholm is where us moogles make our homes. It lies at the summit of the towering mountain Somal. Just how high is Somal, you ask? Well, if you must know, you're free to climb down yourself and see. Sometimes a distant dragon howl will awaken us in the night, or an impolite monster might just chase us around. But beside that, I'd say we have it pretty good living here above the clouds, Kupo. Oh, that's very sweet. Jesus, how high do I need to? I need to get up there somehow, do I? Oh, is she moving? No. Oh, look at the little quiver. Oh, that's very... Oh, he's got a little Robin Hood hat. Robin Hood was one of the first fancy dresses I ever did. Okay, so what are the summoning stones here? Are these kind of like Chocobo porters? The stone bears a striking resemblance to a Chocobo. On closer inspection, the stone appears to be a large horn. Perhaps if you were to blow into one of the holes, it would summon a Chocobo. Though it may be prudent to leave a rental fee just... Oh, come on. That's really strained. I'd rather they just say it's a magic thing that only resonates when approached with a fistful of gil or something. Okay. I admire the effort. Mender of sticks. Oh! You can repair my stuff? I have nothing else to spend gil on, so why not? Purchase weapons. Jesus. Oh, wait. Why is it saying sell? Well, I don't really care about any of that stuff. What about tools? Oh, I don't use any of those because I don't do that profession. What about regular items? Do you have like a special? This lightweb spider can distribute its weight over a large surface area, allowing it to walk on water without sinking. Live bait for freshwater fishing. Oh, these are just fishing things. A stonefly nymph. They're constantly moving, making them easily discernible targets for poor-sighted fish. Right. Does he not have like a mini or something? Item level 100. It's not good enough, is it really? Holy Rainbow Apron. How do I try on? Whatever. I don't know whether in this game it's worth speaking to vendors like that. Or whether it's a bit like Guild Wars. Oh, you know, we fucked about for so long there. The night cycle's ended and we're back to it looking really pretty. Look, this is where I feel like the stream started now. And now you guys can judge whether you think the game looks good. Alright, we have a new creature here. What on earth is that? A sung chicken? Alright, oh my god, I haven't done this for a week. What was I told? That I shouldn't use my gap close because it's... I was told to not use my gap close on the open. Okay, so the flying text is a bit nuts, to be honest. Wait, is Soul Eater damaging me? Salted Earth damaging me? Oh, I didn't realise that hurts me too. Wait, what's this 65? Oh, it's poison. Poison from the mob, yeah. I can't believe that WP didn't double weave OGCDs there. The first little fight, you've been waiting to shame me. What was T again? Oh, that was me getting my mana back, and I needed to do that quick, didn't I? That skill too, that Siphon Strike gives a lot of mana. What's he cast? Thunder. Oh, it's so messy. It is so messy. Oh my god. I'm also not sure I actually like aggroing this much. Let's eat a Hraesvelgr. Can I eat a Hraesvelgr out of combat? Oh, we've got an AoE situation here. Doesn't that... shouldn't I be using... I think I need to use the other button now. Oh, I can definitely Salted Earth though. I think I used that button. What's it called? Flood of Darkness. Alright, this isn't too bad. I thought I was going to be completely incompetent. Like, everything I learned from the previous stream just out of my head. It's not too bad. Oh, there I messed up because I did the gap close at the wrong time. Isn't there a way in the game to manipulate your global cooldown? Isn't there? Like, you can make it spin faster? Or just cool down faster? Okay, so let's use a Hraesvelgr. So this isn't too agonizingly slow. Since I'm a tank. He's in free stance, he can do whatever he likes. Wow, there's actual dinos here. Have I fought any dinosaurs before? I don't think I have. This is cool as fuck. Oh god, I should actually move out of shit as well, shouldn't I? Oh, how am I messing up already? Oh, my monk instinct to be constantly flanking, sorry. Oh wow, he died really quick. I thought that was going to be a lot harder. See, what I like in fights like this is I like to really be able to focus on what the enemy does. I like to like look at his animations or like see what spells he does, stuff like that. And when I'm just staring at the global cooldown, I feel like I miss all of the fun detail in the game, you know? But I'm going to try and trust a little bit more that I can just press it early. Someone also mentioned just looking at their characters' animations, and I'm going to try and do that. Like, I'm going to look at Macon a little bit more rather than the UI. I think that might be a more fun way to focus. What was this, by the way? Cloud's Breath? I needed to pick these, didn't I? I'm a free account, so I don't think you can send me anything. I'm a North American player. North America. I'm on Adamantois is my server at the moment. Astro could give you haste, but they deleted that in 5.0. How long ago was 5.0? And is haste still in the game then? What does haste do in this game? I was looking out for that. Like, those are staples to me. Haste, slow, steal is like really like very much, okay, Final Fantasy game needs to have steal. And I haven't seen any of that through the classes I've played. I don't even know how it would look in an MMO. How would steel work in an MMO? Oh damn, I main ninja and I started as a pugilist, so I knew that had ways of shortening their GCD. I thought other classes could stack haste. Rogue and ninja has mug. What does it do though? Does it actually do items or... Because there isn't like an item thrower class in this, is there? Do they do ammo in this game? See, that's something I think that MMOs have become scared of and is unfortunate. In like... Because I think old MMOs went a bit mad with ammo, and it was like a punishment. It was like a gold sink for some professions. Or like you're a caster and you have the gold sink of drinking energy potions. And I think people said, well, no, that's crap. I don't want to punish people for picking a certain class through a gold sink. So then that went away. But it means that you don't really get fun stuff where it's like, oh, I'm going to use fire arrows, or I'm going to use ice arrows, or ice bombs, or whatever, you know. Like, that's something that I really enjoy about, like, those older MMOs, and when I'm playing, like, a game like Maple Story or whatever. Because Final Fantasy doesn't do it either, does it? Like, I don't think you have to throw the baby out with the bathwater, you know. And I think MMOs have... I think MMOs often do that. They try and fix one problem, and unfortunately then they've just sort of removed an interesting facet of the game. See, in a world where there's like ammunition types and shit, I could imagine steel working. I'm going to ride my Chocobo, the yellow one. The regular one. Hello, Telmudgy, it's good to see you. Mug for Ninja is mainly as an off-global cooldown single target damage, but it gives increased chance of certain minor loot for flavor. Oh, so it does have a little bit of that. That's cool. When you say for flavor, how is it? Is it like it's zero vendor value stuff and it really is just nothing else? I'm supposed to be doing Morgan's Trail here. We're looking for another destination somewhere in the Red Ring. You heard horrifying things about how ammo used to work. Good riddance. It's not in the game anymore. So this game used to have it. Is that... Oh, wow. We're not even in the ring anymore. That's interesting. Yeah, and don't get me wrong. You do it badly. And it would be horrifying. It wouldn't be fun. I sort of just believe in it as... not as a gold sink. Look, I think gold strategy is an interesting like decision point for an MMO. But I think it should be a ubiquitous one. It's something everybody does. There's not a class-dependent thing. I mean, you could have it on every class. You just juggle it. Like, what you're doing is you're saying, okay, all right, let's say we've got, like, the standards, like, Trinity. You've got, like, a warrior, a ranger, and a mage, right? The sword, the staff, the bow. If you're doing that, you could have, like, energy potions are the gold sink for the mage. Ammunition purchases are the gold sink for the ranger. And then I think the sword might look a little bit harder, but you can do what Guild Wars did for its consumables. You can do whetstones, you know. And then maybe you can play with that, you know, different kinds of... Well, and then that's your gold sink for if you want that. If you want that as a tax as the game goes along, you can do that. But I think forget all the economy stuff. I don't care about any of the economy stuff. Get rid of it all. I just like the idea that I have a little bit more buildcraft, you know, ice arrows or fire arrows or, you know, poison bombs, sapper bombs, shit like that. I think that's all really fun. So Morgwyn's Trial's still really high. This is giving me Super Mario 64 vibes. Like I need to climb to the top of the... I need to race up there or something. Race a Koopa the Quick. Let's go down and see what we got here. And yeah, what I mean throwing the baby out with the bathwater is I feel like MMOs kind of forgot the fun buildcraft element. I mean, this game doesn't care about that stuff anyway. Mog. You were able to humble my Dravanian devotees? Wonderful. Hold on. He's calling the dinosaurs Dravanians. Lord of the Rings Online uses 30-minute firelight oils, which is a nice compromise. Oh, really? Interesting. I did play Lord of the Rings Online on a week of streams. I don't remember any of that, though. That game was surprisingly deep. And it was very, very respectful of roleplay and lore. It was very respectful of the lore. It was very cool. I think for a proper Lord of the Rings fan, it would be a real geek out. You're able to humble my devotees. Well, wonderful. Still, my precious perfection does not excuse those louts from pursuing me so mercilessly, their tongues lolling and their bellies rumbling. The Dravanians and their ilk have much to learn about acceptable acts of admiration. Oh, so much alliteration. The acceptable act of admiration. Arcanist Grimoire. I guess I'll just collect the Savage Might materia, because none of these other ones that I can actually use anyway. Oh, he has a side quest now. I'll leave the side quest for now. Let's continue with the main story. Because, I mean, I am aware how glassily slow I'm playing. Did you have any trouble finding Cloud's Breath? I do need it quite urgently, you know. Yes, I did. Lack of imagination has led to most white flowers found growing in the skybound regions of Dravania and Abalathia to be named after clouds. This light-petaled specimen being no exception. So wait. Abalathia is the other sky map I was on before, right? That's like right next to Ishgard or in Ishgard, right? The Sea of Clouds. But now we're in like a Sea of Clouds above Dravania. The other one is a Sea of Clouds above Ishgard, and now we're in one above Dravania. Oh yes, these are perfect, Kupo. Now I have the main ingredient for my Pom Tonic. Wow, Pom Tonic. Speaking of which, how are you feeling, sir? Should you ever feel your Pom losing its bounce, then I'm your Moogle, Kupo. Can I have a Pom? If your tummy's gloopy or your wings are droopy, I have a potion to fix that. Oh, this is a blue quest. Mogra is in desperate need of a bath. Oh, this is for the Aether Current. Right. That's a cute idea for a quest. Okay, yeah, well, you need to climb this thing. I don't know how. Let's go up there. I've done this a little bit inefficiently. I was wondering if maybe completing the other two quests would create some kind of blower or something I can do. I guess we just travel and see. Abalathia is the mountain range. Right. Yeah, I really need to get my geography right with this game. So, my memory is... I don't remember anything about this, just that it's a mountain range. You guys told me that Girabania is... This is where Mordona is... Alamigo was. And in fact, that says Alamigo there, doesn't it? In like their sort of semi-language thing. So anyway, this is Alamigo, and this is the next expansion, or the one after. Meanwhile, these three are all in this expansion. So you go, I've retained some information. See all that mountainy bit from Dravania to north of Girabana. That's all Abalathia. All of this. It still is Alamigo, it's just a conquered state. Conquered by, why do I keep wanting to say goddamn Gabranth? Garlemald. That's under Garlemaldian rule, right? So, hold on then. If one of the expansions takes me there, that must mean that Garlemald becomes a bigger part of the story again. I'm guessing they built the big airship in the Heavensward trailer or some shit, so I don't know. Do you guys think that Garlean Empire's downfall is in Heavensward, and that's how it's the end of the big story at the start? Gabranth is also in this game. Really? There's a Gabranth in this game, is there? Not associated with the Rabanasta shit and the Evilist shit, but just a new Gabranth. How am I meant to get up there? I hope I'm going the right way. Oh, I guess it is associated with the Ravenous and stuff. That in a lot of ways makes it less exciting to me, because then it's just... He's just sort of a package deal, you know? Oh, I was really confused about what the blue thing was there, and then I thought, oh, of course, it's a fate. No, I haven't seen Jesse's video. You guys have been relentlessly talking about it, though. Thing is, I don't. This is pretty. This is obviously not the way to go, so I'm going back. This is pretty. I don't know. This is hypocritical. I don't know what it is, but I'm kind of the opinion that. Look, my ambition right now is to sort of understand this game and get a feel for what I think about this game. And I kind of don't... I think... I think going to an outside resource to spoon-feed the information to me in a better way than the game does... Sort of... I feel like my judgment of the game after that's not really fair. I don't think it's quite right, you know? And it's weird because, you know, I've done, like, lore series on Guild Wars 2, and, like, Christ, I've sort of built a career out of spoon-feeding information in a slightly different way. That hopefully explains concepts and stuff to people differently. But I sort of think, you know, if I don't want to... Even if it's a really amazing resource, I feel like there's something dishonest about it, or something that I kind of don't want to engage with, you know. So I'd like to look at resources like that after I'm at a point where I've figured out myself. You know, I want to be me, and I want to know my opinion, and I want to know my interpretation of how the devs did, you know. It's a conversation between the studio and me, not... the studio sort of piggybacking off of the free labor of some YouTuber that was enthusiastic, you know. I don't... Does that make sense? You guys probably all, and probably rightly so, think I'm thinking way too much about it. But I'd rather get the product on those terms. I'm really confused. We want to get up there, right? Oh my god, I keep thinking that this game has free cam like in Guild Wars. Maybe it does, and I just don't have it set up. So the question is, how do we... It's nice to see Guild Wars isn't the only game with the combat sounds issue. So the mindset of a critic? Well, I don't know whether it is, really. Because here's the thing, I mean, I think what everything I just said there is actually quite blind to the way that the world works now, you know? Like, you know, you got this idea of, like, wiki... It's not like... Games now don't... They don't... Especially online games, but not just online games, but it's especially true with online games, you know, massively multiplayer online games, especially. Games don't exist as an island. They don't exist outside of YouTubers and Twitch streamers and wikis. Wikis are really interesting. You know, you look at a lot of games, and especially indie games that leverage this because they have to. They don't explain anything. Look at, like, Minecraft, right? Is a great example of, like, a wiki game. It's, like, very... I mean, there was an update more recently that sort of put an in-game encyclopedia or whatever, but... A lot of games, they don't... They release knowing that the hive mind, human consciousness of the internet, will figure shit out and share shit through word of mouth. And you don't actually have to do much work anymore. Because as long as people like the game, they'll do the work for you. And I don't necessarily think that's wrong. And so it's like, for me to say, oh, I'm not going to look at, like, a video. Someone made a lore video about it. I'm not going to watch that. It should be up the game on its own. It's the game's... Is it the game's job? I mean, I think that's quite blind, honestly, because I think to a large degree, developers make games expecting the player base to do some of the heavy lifting. And expecting their consumers to go to Google for answers, you know? We're very far away from, like, PlayStation 1, where it was like... Some players would be legit and other players would buy a cheat book and read passwords, right? Like, just all that shit's broken and gone now. So I don't know. Maybe I'm being foolish. You don't have to view a game in isolation. No one else is, you know? How many people are really sat down and played Final Fantasy, or will sit down and play Final Fantasy 14 with no friends to tell them anything about it, and they'll never Google a single fucking thing? They're just completely... And is that the audience that needs criticism the most, either? You know, to read criticism the most? I don't know what I'm doing. Can someone... Mogwin's Trial. Is it like a jumping puzzle inside? Because this is just going to lead me over there. And I can't jump over the edge. I'm going to go back inside. Josh Strife made a very, very good video about that topic recently. What was his take on it? Well, I don't. To be honest, I don't think you need anyone else's take on that topic either. That you can't be authoritative about it. We exist in the middle ground where it's both things, really. It's just whatever feels good to you. All right, I think we go up there. That looks right to me. It's just a very, very steep road. Oh my god, that is unbelievably gross. Was that a mount? Wow, people criticize Guild Wars. Was that a mount? He's talking about the game design perspective behind living in what's the post-internet area of game design. Yeah, I know. I do think that's an interesting topic. And I don't think you can sneer at wiki games either, for what it's worth. Especially not when they're from small indie studios. He made a video about how New World is already mapped out with guides and everything, and how a game can be discovered without even playing it. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot to dig down into it. For the Guild Wars fans, you know, I think the Mystic Forge at launch is a really interesting... Like, I think when ArenaNet's clued in, they're really clued in, and they're really smart. And you can see that with the Mystic Forge at launch, where they never revealed any of the recipes to anyone. But there's not an expectation that players figure out Volcanus on their own and spend all that money on their own. There's not an expectation that everyone figured out how to craft legendary weapons in there on their own. They understood that they were making an MMO on the internet, that communities would discuss these things, that wikis would be created, that guides would be offered, and word of mouth would spread. And they put a system in the game that celebrates that. They lent into that behavior, and they said, okay, we're gonna make it a formal part of the legendary process. It's an element of the process that 99% of players these days had no experience with, because they came to the game afterwards or whatever. And it's something they haven't properly lent into, I think, very much ever since. But it's cool, you know, and I think that demonstrates ArenaNet understanding that the world had moved on. And you don't have cheat codes and shit like that in games anymore. Not unless it's, you know, they're doing it as an homage to a world of old. This is very beautiful, and I skipped that dialogue. Was there any dialogue? Hello, Mogmill. Oh, I want to speak to you. I'm going to build the biggest collection of shiny landlord treasures any Moogle has ever seen, Chocobo. And then I'll bask in the envy of everyone in Mogholm. Well, good luck. Looks like it is going to be nighttime by the time we get out on our adventure here, guys. Oh, that's weird. Why did I get an error? Also, why is the music so fucking sinister suddenly? Where was the slope down? This is a bit awkward with these invisible walls. You can press X to remove players' nameplates. It makes it easier to interact with NPCs. My keybinds have exploded beyond recognition, so I definitely do not have that bound anymore. X for me is sheath unsheath, but thank you, and I'll try to remember that. Usually I put a keybind like that on tilde, so maybe I'll replicate that. I don't know whether I have tilde bound in this game. Hello, Mogwin. Do you have it, Chocobo? Is my masterpiece safe? An ordinary rock awash with extraordinary colour. What that colour represents, however, you cannot discern from any angle. Yes, this is my work. Is it not exquisite? I called it Contemplations of Zenith. Thank you, sir. At last, I can exchange my art for those delectable Chocobo nuts. Chieftain Moglin will hear of this valorous deed. I'll go with the material again. You've completed the trials of trustworthiness. Return and await his judgment. Well, he had best judge me to be great. He's ready to pass judgment on the performance. Macon, if that is what you insist on calling yourself, you have completed the trials of trustworthiness, administered by the taskmasters Mogan, Mogmog, and Mogwin. During these grueling tests of character, I closely observed your conduct, as well as that of your companions, and I am decided, Kupo. Gather your friends before we nail, so that I need not repeat myself needlessly. We're going to get some voice acting finally? Right, I'm going to manually go gather everyone, am I? Fucking hell. Are these trials over then? My tasks have been a little more than household chores. If our hosts elect not to grant their aid after working us like a pack chocobos, I shall demand compensation in Kupo nuts out of principle. But I hope it will not come to that. Let us hear the chieftain's verdict, shall we? Jesus Christ. We've got quite the adventuring party here. You can also hit the confirm key to select the nearest NPC in a cone in front of you if you have nothing selected. Ah. How go your trials, Warrior of Light? I myself have been sent on a number of expeditions to chastise the local dragon population. Did not their chieftain wish to avoid inflaming the Dravanians? Such contradictions aside, yeah, that's a good point. Our hosts seem entranced by the height of my leap. They command me to Mog, a lance-wielding Moogle warrior of Eld, who also favoured such attacks. 'Twas meant as a compliment, I expect. What if the first Azure Dragoon was a Moogle? That would be quite cool. Did we hear lore about who the first Azure Dragoon was? I feel like we did, but I don't remember right now. Well, I'm sure we did. What was the story? Anyway, 'twas meant as a compliment, I expect, but I doubt these furry lumps could outleap a caracal lamb, much less a dragoon. Conclude your business here swiftly, Macon. I like not this place. How am I liking Dark Knight? I have very little context among the pantheon of classes in this game to really say. I like the vibe, and dungeons are more entertaining as a tank, so that's cool. And it's more simple to execute than Monk as well. Monk is definitely more fun to play. I actually really like Monk. Everyone tells me that Monk's boring and doesn't have much and stuff, and it plateaus too quickly. But I actually really like it. When I was playing it well and I remembered all the keybinds and all that stuff, I really, really was enjoying it. Standing here in Mogholm, my thoughts turn inevitably to the legend of good King Moogle Mog the 12th and his seat in the heavens. Like most, I thought it no more than a myth, a story for younglings that grew with the telling. But with every passing moment, I became more and more certain that we've discovered the origin of the tale. Full eager am I to hear what the chieftain has to say. Okay. Hello, Lady Iceheart. You still entranced by his fur? What sorcery is this? That my heart should stir at mere fluffiness. Alright. Macon, I was... No matter, what is it? Chieftain Mooglin has made his decision? Well, let us not keep him waiting then. We've become such friends, Kupo. My Moogle cousins love to sing and dance as much as I do. Chieftain Moglin has finally come to a decision, has he? Well, I suppose I'd better flutter over and see him then. People forget that this is still PlayStation 3 era. Wow, that's a way to phrase it, isn't it? That is a way to think about it. My God, man. Heavensward is PlayStation 3 era. Heavensward lines up with Heart of Thorns, though. The PS4 was out by then, wasn't it? How short was the PS4 life cycle? No way. Heavensward must have been PS4. Is it really just... Well, I know... I get that... I understand that this game came out on PS3 and they supported it, the base game with... Hold on. Couldn't you say... Is Endwalker coming out on PS3? How does that work? Oh, okay. There you go. They did kill PS3 support. They killed it at the start of Stormblood. Oh, shit. So what? If I was a PlayStation 3 Final Fantasy XIV player, paying my sub, They just said at some point, they just, fuck you, go to PS4, or that's it. Wow. See, there's a whole realm of other things going on there that Guild Wars never had to worry about. I mean, it kind of did. The previous Windows versions. Never have I seen such determined work as Chocobo. It would have taken us moons to complete all those dreary chores and niggling errands. I need to lift my face back up, my visor back up. And have our labours proven the purity of our intentions, Chieftain? I wanted to see Kani Senna. I want to see the elder Seedseer on her knees, you know, mopping up. Do you think she was doing that? I feel like she just got her men to do all the household chores. She seems too, like, ethereal and upper class to actually be doing the hard work. Without a doubt. In fact, there was never really all... She doesn't strike me as very hands-on, you know? I can imagine Merwib swabbing the decks. Without a doubt. In fact, there was never really all that much doubt to begin with. You were, after all, already friends with a fellow Moogle. But you see, before any meeting with Hraesvelgr could take place, certain preparations needed to be made. And what better way to help you pass the time by having you perform all the tiresome tasks that no one ever wants to do, Chocobo? Ah. I like a nice good close-up of Estinian's mouth. Oh dear, the horn! Bring out the horn quickly now. What is this? We blow on this wondrous instrument whenever we wish to speak with the great worm, Chocobo. We haven't perhaps been treating it with the care it deserves of late, and I think Morgan may have sat on it, so we needed some time for cleaning and polishing, and straightening. These guys are all so cute. No lasting harm done, though. Now, you simply need to head to Zenith. Zenith? What do we think there, guys? The worm's dwelling to the west, and give the horn a good toot. We're in your debt, Chieftain. Thanks to your noble gift, we shall finally have a chance to plead our case to Hraesvelgr. Very possibly, yes. But I wouldn't get my hopes up too high, Chocobo. The old worm isn't terribly fond of, Your concern is appreciated, but I'm quite certain that Hraesvelgr will welcome our overtures. Is she going to summon Shiva? She summoned Shiva versus, what was his name? Adramelech? No, what was the guy's name? Amadeus? Was it Amadeus? The primal... I just thought. Should we ever arrive at his lair? Come, we have squandered enough time already. Yes, we have. We've been streaming for 1 hour and 45. Ravana. Sorry, that was it. Lord Ravana. So when that happened, I feel like it could happen any time now. Chieftain Moglin, we thank you for your gracious hospitality. Though we must soon take our leave, I pray that we may continue to nurture the shoots of this new-sprung friendship twixt earth and sky. Of course, Chocobo. Visit us whenever you wish. Consider Mogholm your home amongst the clouds. Something a bit sinister about them. Should I be reading into the fact that there's that weird Dravanian inconsistency? Or is that just sort of played for gags? There's something a bit weird about them, don't you guys think? Like, I feel like they're trying to betray me somehow. Thanks for the help, Chocobo. I doubt I would ever have found all the time for those rotten chores. Hey, it wasn't my idea. If the chieftain had spent a little less time sitting about and a little more time chieftaning, things never would have gotten so messy in the first place. And he was the one who sat on the horn, by the way. But now all their errands are done and the horn's fixed. So, all's well that ends well, eh, Chocobo? They're moogles, they'd steal your shoelaces given the chance. Alright, let's get out of Mogholm. Come on, I've got the horn. Well, I expect you're eager to be on your way. Did I mention your friend was looking for you, Chocobo? If not, Alphino is looking for you. I'll be waiting just outside, stretching my wings. Let me know when you're ready to depart. To depart. Will not be long now, Hraesvelgr. She must be feeling nervous. To the best of my knowledge, we have all that we need for our trip to Zenith, and I believe the elder Seedseer and her retinue will soon be making the journey back to Gridania. It would be remiss of us, I think, not to convey our gratitude to them prior to our going separate ways, shall we? So is it what? So she's just gonna leave now? How the fuck has she done anything for us? How is that a favour to us? It's just our own self-interest. Alphino, Macon, I do humbly thank you for what has been a most enlightening experience. Were it not for your pioneering spirit, the existence of these moogles might never have been revealed to us. 'Tis we who should be thankful, Elder Seedseer. Were it not your timely diplomacy, we would never have chosen to reveal themselves at all. Really? And 'twas your presence, Kuplokop, that ultimately won us their trust. It must have taken great courage to leave the sanctuary of the Twelveswood, and we are exceedingly glad that you did. Yeah, didn't someone on the previous stream say they can't leave or something? It was my pleasure, Kupo. I've made so many new friends, and so many fantastic tales to tell my kinsmoogles back home. And it is to our home that we must now return. May ever you walk in the light of the crystal, my friends. Bold of you to assume that Carney would have trekked out to the middle of nowhere if there wasn't something in it for her. Are you just saying that to be funny, or is there actual character precedent for that I'm forgetting about or yet to see? Safe journey, Elder Seedseer. We too must be on our way. Hraesvelgr awaits. Oh, we got to see Hraesvelgr before the end of this stream. Warrior of Light, pray attend closely to your companions. Sir Estinian, beneath that stoical facade, a storm of anguish seethes unseen. Ooh. Bold of you to assume Carney has any characteristics. I don't really know much about her and the Gridanians, because that wasn't my opening city. I know that they're like pacifists, right? But pacifists to a fault. Like, they don't... Like, the plot of the original game was, like, convincing them to actually fight back against Gabradia. Why the fuck do I keep forgetting their name? What's the Empire's name? Gabradia? Why isn't that sticking in my brain? Anyway. Oh, you think they're racists? Garleans, thank you. See, look, this looks good, don't get me wrong, but it looked so much better in the day, don't you guys think? Garlemald. Garlemald, Garlemald, Garlemald. Mold. That's how I'm going to try and remember that. Mold. Because I can always remember the G. It's mold. Garlemald. I got it. Have you said your goodbyes and dabbed away your tears, Kupo? Then we are indeed ready to go. Is that it? Is that her role in the X-Pack? That's very strange. The closer we come to Hraesvelgr, the higher my spirits rise. But is it I who am elated, or Saint Shiva? We have tarried over long. Let us forge ahead as swiftly as we may, lest Ishgard bear the brunt of the Horde's fury. Hold on, I've forgotten. Why is Lady Iceheart on the journey with us? Why does she care about peace? I thought she just wanted the dragons to win. Why is she with us? What's her, like, stake in peace? Why does she desire peace? She's like the leader of the heretics. They just want the dragons to take the land back for themselves. Rightly so, to be honest, too. Why does she want it to stop the war, though? They share borders with the Garleans, but maintain themselves neutral, which is a smart thing. You mean the forest people? We've tarried over long. Let us forge ahead as swiftly as we may, lest Ishgard bear the brunt of the Horde's fury. None of you guys can answer it, can you? None of you can answer why she wants... Because her people are fucked. Because Shiva used to stand for peace, and she thinks she's her reincarnation and wants to follow in her footsteps. Was that what it was? Through the echo, she learned that the Ishgardians are wrong. She wants to stop the war because she saw what the peace was like in Hraesvelgr's mind. So she only just recently started wanting peace then, did she? Because before, she brought down the wall thing, didn't she? She betrayed the Ishgardians. When did I witness that on a previous stream? She joined you because she's realised Nidhogg will slaughter everyone. Yeah, so when was that realisation? What was the context for that realisation? Oh, it's about to be explained? I'm not saying that the game hasn't said, by the way. I'm genuinely just asking chat because I've forgotten. I've forgotten why she has a stake in peace. All I remember is that, to be honest, she was just more on the dragon side. Alright, enough talk. Let us leave this risible place behind us. I like that word. Yeah, alright, fine, let's go. Lead me to the Zenith. It was mentioned already, but not in detail. Okay. I would have thought that it was mentioned already, because the difference between her and Estinian is, like, you know, on screen a lot. As Chieftain Moglin already explained, the shiny instrument we gave you is the best means of grabbing Hraesvelgr's attention. I'll come along and show you the way to Zenith. That's the big palace where you need to blow the horn. First things first, though, we need to make for Asar. Oh, and watch out for rampaging dragons. Maybe that should have been the first thing, Kupo. Right, so we're going to Asar so we can get to a palace to blow the horn. So what the shit is Asar? Sorry, Mogsy. I appreciate you're probably going to give me an Aether Current, but not today. Oh, they're different enemies at night. Oh no, it's because it's a fate. What the fuck are those things? Giant fish people? Oh, I was about to get on a Chocobo, but we've aggroed. Oh. I'm going to turn off tank stance just in case. I know we've had a few conversations about the fact that it doesn't matter, question mark. She found out that the dragons had attacked the little people in Ishgard, not just the army. Oh, now that's a cool little, like, motivation. See, look at that. Poison +1. I don't like any of that UI. Okay, so we get a couple of Dravanians here. Let's debuff them. Oh. I can walk out of the purple, can't I? What does that do to stand in it? I don't really know what it did. I know I could Salted Earth, but it's fiddly to cast, and he's going to be dead in a second anyway. I forgot to use Bloodied Weapon. I'm wondering if I should put Blood Weapon on a, like, easier keybind. Like, I'm thinking of swapping these. I had Interject on R, because it's like, Interrupts I want really easy on my fingers. But I use Blooded Weapon a lot, so I think I'd rather put that there. Okay, continue on the path. Eat a Castle Green as well, I think. Oh, was Garnet fighting with me there and I just completely was blind to it? The Landlord Colony. What on earth is that? Sank Chinny. Have you leveled him up as a healer? Will make solo content easier. No, I don't even know what you mean by that. You can level him as a healer? I know there's a lot of, like, Chocobo UI that I haven't looked at for ages. So there, for example. Whoops. Now my muscle memory's off. And I just interjected when what I meant to do was Blood Weapon. Oh, I liked that roar. That sounded cool. Oh my god, what on earth was that? I'm hearing little cats. Are you guys hearing that loud? You hear the wind? You heard the meowing? You can hear the game, right? From the upper right, character, companion. Are these flashing because I should do something with them? They're all level 0. And I'm rank 2. You can skill them. Orders Chocobo to grant regen to target. Healer is quite handy. Select the healer skills. You have 3 SP. Oh, this is really involved. So you guys think healer's good because I'm a tank? This isn't better for just quickly killing shit? I'll trust you guys. Chocobo regen. And give my mind 10%. Does that mean he's going to do less damage now, or he just has a new ability available? Increases HP. Cure. Choco Cure. Critical hit. Choco Medica. Orders Chocobo to restore its own HP and the HP of all nearby party members. Put him on healer stance. Did that work? Oh, he whistled. Oh, there you go. He's on healer stance. Alright. Oh, I could have right-clicked it, could I? Alright. Will that be the same forever now? Or will I have to remember to do that every time I get him out? Or after a daily reset or some shit. Chocobo can't hold aggro and damage is bad. I respectfully disagree with this. My Chocobo holds aggro pretty well. Well, I'm a tank, so I don't really need it to hold aggro anyway. I mean, maybe when I'm on a monk, it would be nice for him to hold aggro. Actually, it would be amazing on a monk, because then I could rear and flank everything I want. Can that work? When I'm on my monk, can I change the Chocobo's build? The timer shows... Yeah, I know that's his duration, but I mean, when he goes away and comes back out, will he stay as a healer? Moss Dragon in waiting. Oh, this is going to be good. Holy shit. Cones are actually a bit brutal to get through. Flood of Darkness, that was cool. I don't like it. I don't like all the floating text everywhere. Is that guy in chat that wanted me to customize it still here? Oh, no, I have the Chocobo regen. Or I had it for a second. It's gone again now. I've noticed I never really look at this gauge thing. I guess later it becomes more complicated to juggle that upkeep. I like the Moss Dragon. I think it's cool. No, I'm close to meeting Hraesvelgr, I hope anyway. Yeah, that was me. Do you have the mod active now? I can't tell the difference. No. So here, look. If I go plugins, it's fly text filter, open config. I don't really know. I turned off show from others, which is really good. So in a dungeon, it doesn't look super bad. But I don't really know which boxes to turn off. You know? Or like what to blacklist. Maybe there's something really simple I can blacklist. So I don't... It'd be great to see what I achieve with Reshade. I think I'm over Reshade these days. I spent too long messing with it, only to then not be happy with performance or something. Or I don't know. I mean, I'll probably just pull something out of the box somewhere. So, I mean, it looks powerful, like it can do a lot of stuff, but without a target dummy, it's kind of hard to... Because you are just blindly turning stuff off until the next fight and then hoping that the relevant fly text situation arises and that you can notice it enough to see whether the change you wanted to go through actually did go through. I mean, it's... I'm not going to bother with him. Right, hello everyone. What do we think of this ruin? Never would have believed that so much land lay hid above the clouds. Dravania is not as I imagined. Do you see the sculpture to the south and west of here? I'm all but certain it was carved in the likeness of St. Chiva. Wait, southwest? This is southwest that we're looking. I'll go look at it in a minute. There's an Aether current we can grab too. The histories make no reference to the existence of these ruins. Curious, most curious. Things were a bit bitey for a while there, but I think we've arrived in one piece. I always wonder. I wonder what the dragon. I wonder what has the dragon so awfully snappy. I mean, the bad ones are always bad, but they seem worse than usual. Morgan seems fretful about the weather. We may have a small problem, Chocobo. When the winds are high like this, Hraesvelgr invariably abandons his lofty perch and heads to the lands below to hunt. If you tried blowing the horn now, I doubt he'd hear it. I suggest we stop at the clearing up ahead and rest until the wind dies down. I want to climb that tower. They have a shit ton of presets. To tell you the truth, I'd probably ask Kerry to tell me what one she uses if she's grabbed a preset. And I'd just do that. I'd probably take whatever she makes and then sort of rein back a little bit on the contrast. And not even because I think it would be ugly or whatever, but because... Oh, I missed the thing. Let's go grab the thing. Because when it comes to making videos and streams and stuff, it would probably be a bit dark for that. As I've learned to my own cost over the years. People don't like deep contrast. Dark nights and stuff. Probably best to do off screen. No, I was talking about G-Shade. Yeah, I was talking about G-Shade presets. As for the floating text... Look, I'm pretty sure if I googled that add-on, there'd be some discussion somewhere and recommendations from people. I'm guessing anyway. I mean, Christ, it's a whole tool that's been made. Someone's discussed it somewhere at some point. But I haven't gone so far. I was kind of hoping I could just kick up the stream and then see what happens, but then it's been a week, so... All you do with G-Shade is add some MX ambient occlusion and do a little color correction. See, I always get a bit worried about doing AO via post-processing suites because quite often they're really buggy and weird. Whoa. He's cool. I don't get any, like, credit or, like, meaning to killing one of each thing, do I? There's no, like, hunt quests or anything anymore. This is an enemy whose name looks like it says Amphitheater. This place is gorgeous, man. So we're just going to... What the fuck is that building? Holy shit. There are the Clown Centurio hunts. Oh, okay. Oh, those would be like the daily hunts. I don't think I've ever done one of those. This should do nicely, Chocobo. The winds will likely have died down by tomorrow, but until then, we might as well make ourselves comfortable. If we must interrupt our journey so close to its end, I suppose this place is as good as any. And mayhap a brief respite from the hardships of the road will help to clear our minds in readiness for the coming parley. Very well then, I believe a campfire is in order. Leave the gathering of fuel to me. I acquired a keen nose for firewood during my time in the frozen wastes of Kurthus. Clear our minds. It is Master Alphina whose mind needs clearing. The thought of meeting a great worm in the flesh has befuddled the boy. You see him stroll away as if these ruins were not crawling with deadly beasts. Follow him in making and see the wildlife does not make a meal of our young friend. We will have the camp ready by the time you return. Wow, that's so like patronizing and... Do you see that sculpture to the west of here? Oh. Oh! She's still saying it, so my guess is that now it's relevant. Is that over there? This is quite a weird, like, pretty little area, isn't it? With the little glowing flowers and stuff. For roleplay reasons, I really would like to finish this quest while it's nighttime, and then it will be day as we start the next bit. I know the idea is it's strong winds. It's not that it's too late, but still. Waiting for the wind to change. So do you guys think I'm close to meeting Hraesvelgr? On the previous stream, people said I was close when I was dealing with the bug people. I killed Ravena and people said I was close. But that's because they forgot there was a whole dungeon going up the mountain. And then, if I remember rightly, people said there's a dungeon and there's a Moogle bit. Now, I have to assume we're about to finish the Moogle bit, so to speak. Oh, nice. I didn't aggro that thing. I thought I was going to. Whoa. Oh, God, he's gross. Interrupt that. Oh, I messed that one up. Melia Matron. I think I fought a lot of these in dungeons. Who's to say Alphino couldn't deal with this? I reckon he would have been fine. I believe in him. I must say, I really like not having the flying mount again. I really like that they take these mounts away. Do you guys want to get on a massive long discussion about whether Guild Wars 2 should remove mounts in End of Dragons? I don't suppose you guys have ever heard me talking about that before, have you? Here it is over here. I think we'll probably want to kill the lowest Skylord first. Unfortunately, I don't have any cooldowns left. Damage cooldowns. Because I just... Oh, do I get it? Yeah, I got it. So I just use them against the other guy. Dark Knight feels like it has a very crowded, like, start. And then, like, not much. Like, now, I really am. I'm just pressing 1, 2, 3 for a long period of time now. I don't think I'm wrong in my reading of the combat here, right? I'm just waiting for more skills that would... Okay. It'll be an interesting feeling after playing so long with flying unlocked in all maps to go to the new area, try taking off and whoops, not unlocked yet. Wow, you say that, it will be... that's not what they're doing though, is it? They're not taking anything away. So you're going to go to End of Dragons and you're going to have your own self-control to not sky scale all over the place. Yeah, I do have a HP bar. It's above my character's head in combat. Did I do the FF15 crossover? No, Rocker was telling me to do it, but I wanted to get on with the main story today. And if I missed the Regalia, then I missed the Regalia. I don't really mind. I see I was right to worry about the boys' safety. Once Alphino returns with the wood, we can see about supper. The Ice Queen has filled a pot with what looks like stew ingredients ready for the fire. Okay. If EOD locks them till you get 100% map comp, it'd be interesting. The thing is, they haven't ever made map comp, like... Map comp has always been optional. Always. People treat it as like a... fundamental part of the game, but it is something you opt into, and I wonder whether they're actually brave enough to take that leap and sort of have a little bit of a, you know, a paradigm shift there and really embrace map comp and say, no, it's the thing to do. I mean, if it's just giving you mount access, it's still kind of opt-in, but it's a lot less opt-in, isn't it? Story progression is a more fitting way of doing it, as someone just said there, like once the story journal is done with a certain chapter. Anyway, look, there's a vibe here and we're trampling all over it. A few things compared to the simple pleasure of sitting beside a crackling campfire of one's own making. So speaks this great explorer. Until recently, you wouldn't have recognized firewood if it came with kindling and a flint. 'Tis well you instructed me so patiently then. But yes, left to my own devices, I would have been compelled to signal your sail with a pile of damp leaves. Why are they being so mean to him? I guess this is like... I'm going to take this as sweet banter between ever closer friends. I was born the pampered son of a Sharlayan dignitary. Okay, chat, what's Sharlayan? And alongside my twin, became the youngest student ever to be accepted into the studium. What's the studium? What's Sharlayan? And it's nice to hear him mention his sister. What's her name again? Alice. Sharlayan is another nation. Does it still exist? Okay, and the studium is Hogwarts. It's a nation you can visit in Endwalker. It's over the sea. It's an isolationist city-state that has smarty pants. It's a nation from another continent. They had a colony in Eorzea at some point, but it's abandoned. You go there in Endwalker. They used to have a presence in Dravania. It's an island far to the west where Alphino, Alice and Urianger studied. Oh, Urianger's from there as well, is he? It's the most advanced nation at the moment, and they hate everyone. Wow, these guys sound interesting. Have they had a role? So, do I know any Sharlayans? Is Alphino a Sharlayan? Do I know anything about any of these people yet? That's cool. Many of the Scions hail from Sharlayan. It's a big hype for Endwalker. Don't spoil it. Most of the Scions are from Sharlayan. Wait, Scions... Aren't the Scions the little group that me and Minfilia like built up in the core game? All the main Scions are Sharlayan. Is that just a coincidence? Is this pre-Realm Reborn stuff? Oh, Louis Soir was one as well. Oh, of course, I guess. Right. So, my question to you, chat, is... at any point in the story up until now, have they talked about Sharlayans? Was there a beat of any significance prior to this where they introduced that nation to me? Yeah, okay, so in ARR, okay, so just when I first joined the Scions? What was the beat, though? What was the beat? Don't just say yes. What was it? Offhanded mentions. See, so I have one person saying offhand mentions and another person saying it was explained in length. Yes, they had a whole island disappear. Do I remember anything about an island disappearing? I might have been just skimming or tuned out at that point because it was such a drudge playing through all that shit. There were two groups, the Path of the 12, Minfilia, and the Circle of Knowing, Louis Soir. Those two groups merged to form the Scions in 1.0. That, when you say 1.0, do you mean pre-Realm Reborn? Do you remember a woman called Moonbirder? I do remember a woman called Moonbirder. Moonbirder. .0 equals pre-ARR. Yeah, Moonbirder I did meet. I can't really remember many specifics about her. She was like big and strong, and I don't really remember what she did or how long she was in the story. She came to help as a Sharlayan. Okay, so it's just another nation, and it doesn't sound like there was like a whole primal or some shit based on them or with them that I've missed and forgotten about. It sounds like I'm okay with my knowledge of it right now. Okay. All right. So there are super advanced nations. They hate everyone, question mark. An island disappeared, question mark. Loads of the main heroes are from there. And for what? Why are they here then? Why is this story not taking place on the island that they're from? And they have like a Hogwarts place. How proud I was to match wits with scholars and philosophers. How ignorant of mine own shortcomings. That hubris invited manipulation and betrayal and led to the downfall of the Scions. Is he talking about the blue armored people? Fuck, what was their name? That betrayed everyone at the banquet. Is he talking about that right now? The downfall of the Scions? That's what he's talking about, right? That we built that little army of blue armor people and Crystal Braves. That's it. Okay, yeah. So, were the Crystal Blades called Scions? Were they fully known as Scions? Or were they like Scion adjacent? They don't hate everyone, they just have a strict rule of non-interference, which the twins' grandfather gave the middle finger to. Right. I thought it was the Galbanians? The Seedseer lady that just left. I thought they were the non-interference group. The Scions and Louisois left Charlia and were looked down on it by the Charlians. This is all pre 1.0. They were just Alphino's grandiose ego trip. They were just his private army. Okay. The Crystal Braves were just Alphino's private army, and they betrayed him at the bloody banquet. I get that. All right, I'm on board with that. Why then, if they're only adjacent, and they're just Alphino's little project, how did we get to all the Scions down? Why are all the Scions being persecuted because of the misdeeds of the Crystal Braves? Surely Alphino's the only one that becomes public enemy. Does that make sense? Gridanians are xenophobic. Well, yeah, they're a ground company and they're not they intervene now, but at the start of the story, around Reborn's story, they weren't. Guilt by association. So they're adjacent. Okay. We are all of us guilty of similar ignorance. How many men lay down their lives, never knowing what it is they fight for, never questioning that which they have been taught to believe? "'Twas only upon meeting Hraesvelgr that I learned the hidden truth, the truth hidden within our history. Were it not for that chance encounter, I would never have vowed to tear down the Holy See and expunge the falsehoods with which it fans the flames of conflict. I would have lived and died in ignorance. That the truth has driven me to do terrible things I cannot deny, but I would rather sin in the pursuit of peace than imagine myself virtuous for perpetuating a needless war. If this journey has taught me anything, it's the importance and difficulty of holding to one's convictions in the face of failure, of striving always to replace one's ignorance with knowledge." "You're well on your way, Master Alphino. At your age, I was but a fool, swinging a spear with scarcely a thought in my head." By the way, this is going to totally work. When this cutscene ends, it's going to be day, and it's going to line up perfectly. You guys will see. "Even now, I struggle to acknowledge the misconceptions under which I have laboured." Yeah, Estinian's on that journey right now. "Sitting here amongst these grand ruins, how can I deny that man and dragon once lived in peace? But for all that such an age existed, we are now in a time of war. Nidhogg killed my family, and no quirk of history will exonerate him. I may be ignorant of how the Dragon Song War began, but if we do not put an end to this conflict now, I can say for certainty that it will only breed more vengeful souls such as mine." "In my hands resides the power to vanquish a great worm. If Ishgard's survival rests on me wielding that power, I will slay Nidhogg myself. Orders or no?" "Estinian, you gave your word." I don't understand why she's on such a fuss about it, to be honest, right? Like, they're different broods, aren't they? They've said multiple times that different broods, depending on which dragon is at the top, they're very, very different. So like, why she got her knickers in a twist about like the act of one brood versus another? "My word is contingent upon the success of our parley. Show me the strength of your convictions, Lady Iceheart. Convince Hraesvelgr of the righteousness of your cause." It sounds to me like Hraesvelgr already knows the righteousness of her cause, but he can't do anything about it. Hraesvelgr is not Nidhogg. I'm sure he's implored Nidhogg already. I think this is all going to be futile. We'll get to him and he'll be like, yeah, what the fuck do you expect me to do, though? You're asking me to invite civil war upon my own kin. And I've already considered that, and the answer's no. It really looks like a dead end to me. Doubt not, but that I shall, Dragoon. Well, wind's willing. We shall have our answers on the morrow. Let us sleep now and face our fate with the rising of the sun. Look at that. They did a day-night thing. God, I want my next Dark Knight armor, so I look cool. Just you wait what Hraesvelgr has in store for her. Okay, the person in chat that just said that, I now think that Hraesvelgr is going to see her, like, channeling Shiva or whatever, and he's just going to eat her. That's now what I think will happen. Oh. And then that sets Justinian on the path of true righteousness as he now seeks to avenge the woman. Or some shit. I don't know. That would do a lot for Justinian's character, though. Also, because I've heard more people talk about being a fan of Justinian than Ysayle. So I'm wondering if Ysayle doesn't make it very far. And to a certain degree, she's kind of got to atone for her sins. So it'd be some kind of narrative justice there. Anyway, look at the sun up, guys. Ooh. Mogan is gazing meaningfully at the path to the Zenith. I like that they balance all this shit with a Moogle on the adventure with us. The campfire was so cozy, I must have fallen asleep, Chocobo. But do you feel how the winds have shifted? They will have borne Hraesvelgr back to the skies above Zenith, I'm sure of it. This is your chance to climb to the highest floor of the palace. Is this another dungeon? And summon him with a toot on that shiny horn. So, I'll be heading back now, if it's all the same to you. Good luck, Chocobo. It was nice knowing you. He's not confident we'll be happy. God, my Chocobo looks like a worm, doesn't it? These are some of the worst Chocobos I've seen in Final Fantasy. I mean, they look like worms. Right. I want to ride my Chocobo all day. Right. I kind of want to just try and ring the bell, the horn, anywhere. Oh, cool. Another Aetheryte over there. I have to say, I wish in this game I was forced to fight a little bit more and the fights were a little bit faster. You know, like I had aggro there, but you can just walk off and they leash really quickly. I wish the game, like, pressured me to fight, but it wasn't a slog to do that fight. I guess if I was a DPS, none of it would feel like a slog. Oh, let's grab this Chocobo ball. Gridanians are actual racists who exist only because of some wood spirits allow it. Wait, do you want to dive into that more from me? What happens if I ride a Chocobo here? A porter. Holy shit, this place looks fancy. It also looks kind of, I don't know, almost like too clean, that bit, the underside of that. It almost looks like sci-fi. It's like a giant sheet of corrugated iron or something. Steel. Now, I understand what they do mechanically, but I was wondering what the animation would look like. I was wondering if it would be like a special Chocobo that I ride. The damage of a DPS isn't much higher than that of a tank DPS in the way you seem to think it is. Oh, really? So it's a narrow improvement. But timings are so strict in this game that it's still enough to functionally matter. Basically, the Gridanian woods are haunted. And the Gridanians are their cool worshippers. And they don't really allow anyone but their cool worshippers, really. Sorry, what do you mean cool worshipper? I love the idea of haunted woods, by the way. Like, I love the idea of, like, something dies in, like, a really traumatic or horrible way, so it would become, like, a ghost or whatever. But, like, the flesh is used to grow a tree. So now it's like a haunted tree. It's like an evil tree. It's like a demon tree. And I like the idea that then someone cuts down that tree and builds a house out of it. And now you have a haunted house. Ah, it's pretty cool, isn't it? This is wild. A good tank will do about 55% the DPS of a good DPS, maybe 60. Okay, so you're telling me that a DPS can kill shit in the open world about twice as fast, aren't you? Just under twice as... Now that's way less tedious. You've got to consider, changing 40 seconds to 20 seconds. That's a big difference. Way less of a slog. I see all these Dravanian haters in this chat. What the hell? Well, go on then. Defend them. What do you mean haunted? Give me more context to that. I never got the impression that Dravanians were racist. Well, I heard that the people of Alamigo wanted refuge and they said, no, fuck off. That sounds a bit isolationist to me. I don't know whether I'd call that necessarily full-on xenophobia. I mean, to a certain degree, isolationism and xenophobia go together. Hello, everyone. I'm just going to grab this Aether Current. There is no good city-state in Eorzea. It's an alliance of capitalists and slave drivers. Well, I never saw much slaving going on at Thanalan. Is there a lot of slaving going on there? Insane tree huggers and pirates. What's so bad about Merwib's lot? Limsa Laminsons. What's so bad about them? They're not pirates in the brigand sense, though, are they? They're pirates in an aesthetic sense. They're not actually outlaws. It's not a whole nation of outlaws, is it? No, of course it's not, because it's the like. I don't think the pirate really even works, you know, in a real sense, and particularly in a derogatory sense for the Limps and Laminsons. They used to be in the brigand sense, but that's fine, and not anymore. So. Oh, mortals, why do you disturb my solitude? This is it. This is the moment. I thought I was going to do a dungeon before this. Holy shit, he's like a Pegasus. Oh, he does not look at all like... He looks like Evray! Holy shit, he's Evray! Like it's literally the same model. Well, it's not... It's like the same skeleton. Dude, that was exactly the way that Evray and Evray Atlanta move. Hraesvelgr. He's... Thou speakest the name of a creature that but awaketh the release of oblivion. Leave me. Wait, what? We said his name, right? Thou speakest the name of a creature that but awaiteth... Oh, sorry. Awaiteth the release of oblivion. Leave me. He just wants to die. He's that sad about his girl.
Mine ears hear the tongue of dragons, yet the meaning rings clear within my mind. How can that be?
I hate his voice, man.
Hraesvelgr, do you not remember me? 'Twas I whom you found in Dravania. I who glimpsed the truth. The truth about your past. About Shiva.
Okay, he's either really sad or pissed off. Ready? Do not speak her name, mortal.
But speak it I must. I have summoned Shiva's soul from the beyond and offered myself as her vessel. She has made her heart known to me.
Oh, okay, alright, I got a bunch more questions here. How did Ysayle do that? Was that explained already? Was that what the original dungeon was or whatever? And what does that mean? Summoned her soul from the beyond. So when Shiva died, she was eaten. There's an afterlife realm, is there? It will be explained shortly. Okay, that's fine. She has the echo. Alright, yeah, but okay, answer the second half now, though. Where do souls go in this? Is there like an underworld? The elementals made the entire 12s unlivable for like 2 centuries. They are not to be trifled with. I'm guessing that what I'm reading there is about the Gridanian stuff. Keep going. Alright. I just don't know whether it's a fundamental... I wonder if they localized this voice, or this is straight up the same, even if you're playing the Japanese edition. Foolish girl, thinkest thou my beloved spirit hath descended from the heavens? So they do have an idea of heaven, that souls go after they die. That the secrets of her heart are thine to know.
I have surrendered mine to her. Do you not see, my love? I am Shiva reborn.
Yeah, I guess, yeah, none of this has been explained, does it really? I mean, does she believe in reincarnation or whatever? Oh, he's not fucking about, is he? Gullible fool, the light but illuminated the past for thee. It did not grant thee omniscience. So, has this woman just convinced herself Shiva's in her? When she... But she can summon Shiva. And she has the echo, right? So Hydaelyn... Fuck, you guys didn't explain any of that to me before. You said it was spoilers. I'm not supposed to know why she has the echo. I just need to play it along, I guess. Oh, hold on. This is about the whole primal thing, though, right? Primals, you can just make anything appear that you want as long as you believe. Oh, that's really cool. This is basically a story, right? Where it's saying she thinks she's got some, for the lack of a better word, like divine mandate. She believes so much that Shiva's within her or whatever that she can just make her. Because that's how primals work. You just believe it, and it's there. And it's immaculate belief she has, so she can make it. She doesn't even realise that she's got no idea what she's doing, because she just believes it. And that's like the whole thing with... The whole game is exploring that craziness, right? Of like, oh, I can just wish something in. That's what she's doing. And she thinks there's something more to it, but it's not. It's just... That's what primals do. Where's she getting all... But why does she have the echo, though? And where's all the, like, crystals and shit? Doesn't she need loads of crystals to summon? Oh, she does, and we saw her against that guy, Ravena. She stole Ravena's crystals to summon her before. Okay, I'm on board with it. And Hraesvelgr's like, you're a moron, you're just... Shiva's not here at all. Oh, I like this. So, in an age-long past, mine own kin were guilty of like folly, beguiled by the Dark One's lies. They attempted to resurrect a king amongst worms, yet the divinity they called forth merely borrowed the semblance of my fallen brood brother. Okay, so he's saying, I don't know who the Dark Ones are, Ascians, maybe? How long have Ascians been fucking with Eorzea? In an age-long past, were Ascians still dicking about like 1,000 years ago? Okay, I don't know about the Dark Ones thing, but what he's saying is, they had a king. Yeah, and they were all like, oh, we want him back. So they summoned it. The dragon summoned a primal, basically. They're like, here's my guy. It's not Bahamut, is it? It's not literally Bahamut. But it was just a facsimile. It wasn't real. Is this the same as bringing Louis Soir back as Phoenix? This is not really Louis Soir coming back. Oh, I like this. I like hearing about the dragons making a mistake. We're not talking about Midgårdsormr, are we? Did Midgårdsormr die and then the dragons brought him back? Is the Midgårdsormr with me the Midgårdsormr, or is it a primal? How am I supposed to know what's a primal and what's not a primal? Do you know what I mean? In this world, because it doesn't. There is no distinction. I need to know how sophisticated the writing is, to be honest. I need to get a sense of whether the writers sat down and thought about all this and that they're really making a story that's playing with it, or whether I'm just going off the deep end. Because I want to believe I'm not off the deep end and that these are the fun questions that they're deliberately poking at. You don't think I'm supposed to pronounce the R at the end of Midgårdsholm? Okay, you guys say to trust it. Okay. Oh my god, I love it, man. Phantoms spun from the threads of misplaced faith. Genuinely, I really like this is the kind of shit I like reading. Such gods are not summoned but created. Phantoms spun from the threads of misplaced faith.
Then the spirit that answered
It was just the dream of Shiva. Thy soul hath been corrupted by a deity of thine own making, child. Hold on. What's that thing when primals...
Be that as it may, Lord Hraesvelgr, Izel's desire to heal the rift between man and dragon is real, and it has borne us this far.
What's that thing where they can make people mad? It's like a feedback loop, isn't it? Let's say she, for example, let's say she didn't have the echo, for argument's sake. I'm assuming this only works because she had the echo. But they, like, corrupt you. Let's say she didn't have the echo. The first time she summoned Shiva or whatever, it would have done that mind control thing. She, like, would have mind controlled herself and everyone around her. Do you know what I mean? It's like everyone is potentially really fucking dangerous because everyone can just create these sudden, like, cults and these... Do you get what I mean? Tempering, that's it. There has to be something else. There has to be a whole other layer to this. But that explains why primals temper and all that shit. And why the process is... There has to be a whole other layer, which I'm hoping the Ascian story is all about. Right, but Alphino's right. We do want peace.
We would spare both our kind and yours the ravages of this senseless war. Pray join your voice to ours in a call for peace and forgiveness.
The tale of thy kind is one of avarice, treachery, and death. And thou wouldst speak to me of peace? So he doesn't trust people. Hark thee, mortal, to the naked truth. Then tell me that you deserve forgiveness. He's saying, if you know the real truth of how fucking horrible the Ishgardians were, how can you possibly say that you deserve forgiveness? Right? Is he going to show me a little bit more of the story now? Oh, I think... 1200 years ago, my beloved Shiva's sacrifice served to bring an end to the war twixt man and dragon, paving the way for an age of peace and cooperation. Oh. It's like the start of Moana. We're getting like a third interpretation of the story now, right? 2 centuries of harmony were to follow, during which time the Elezen learned much about us. Sorry, Elezen? Who are the Elezen? Is that like what the Ishgardians were called before they were Ishgardian? 2 centuries of harmony were to follow, during which time the Elezen learned much about us. Oh, that's just elf people. Oh. Wait, are all Ishgardians elves? Ishgardians are an elf race. That's what... Okay. They were originally only elves. Okay. The Elezen learned much about us. So the elves in this story are not... They're not like... They can be just as primitive as the other races, right? These aren't like your Tolkien elves. During which time the Elezen learned much about us, not least that the eyes of a great worm are the wellspring of his strength. Yeah, we know this. It was out of the selfish desire to possess this strength that King Thordan then conspired to undo all that our peoples had achieved together. Someone said, are there half-elves? And someone said, yes, but it's rare. And looked down on. You see that? You see how this game like will go into the prejudice of that kind of mixed race birth and shit like that? That's where I think this game's sophisticated. Sorry, that's where... No, they're not sophisticated. That's where this game's tone is very different to Guild Wars'. Guild Wars would never touch subject material like that with a 10-foot pole. They just wouldn't do it. And so I prefer like that honesty and that capability in this game. Anyway, I'm just trusting chat that that's true. I don't actually know where that information is divulged, but anyway, with the aid of his Leal Knights, Leal, is this just an adjective that I don't know about? That most noble of Elezen lured my brood sister. Oh, sister, is this one of the other 7? One of the other 7 children of Midgardsorm? Ratatoska into an ambush and took from her that which he craved. Okay, he is one of the big... She was... What is? I'm guessing she's dead. Took from her that which he craved. So he blinded his sister. So is Nidhogg just pissed off about his sister? Fain would I strike the image from my mind, yet still the scene doth linger, of my brood sister's tattered corpse, defiled by her Elezen allies. They had torn out her eyes, and feasted upon them in the manner of wild beasts. Yet that was not all, for from their bloody banquet the fiends had gained strength beyond that of mortal men. Even now I labour to comprehend the enormity of their betrayal. Nidhogg was the first to learn of the atrocity, and he took to the skies hungry for vengeance. This is all after Shiva, right? This isn't the start of the war. This is the reignition of the war, isn't it? Because there was war, and then there was 2 centuries of peace, and now there's war again, and this is the return of the war. So this is after the Shiva thing. I really like the idea that for all his badness or whatever, I can understand, you've got all these brothers and sisters, these dragons with their broods, and they want to avenge their sister. And Hraesvelgr says no, and it's like, that would be a really hard thing to do. But Nidhogg sounds pissed, and we can see he is. Okay, so he kills the king, but though he slew Thordan and some few of his knights... Thordan was the king, right, during this time, who concocted this plan. Their fellow butchers knew only too well where to aim their spears, and with now practiced savagery, they set about my brood brother, sending him flailing from the field. Okay, question. Her eyes, Do we know where they are? They were like sliced up, so to speak. I don't know how much of this is metaphor and how much of this is literal. They're gone, right? Whose eye does the Azure Dragoon have at Estinian? Whose eye does he have at the moment? They were eaten. Okay. Whose eye does Estinian have? Nidhogg's eye. Right. So Nidhogg's yet to lose his eye at this point in the story. Also, why doesn't Estinian eat the eye? He's getting power from it without eating it, right? Couldn't he just straight up gobble that shit down? Didn't they say that Nidhogg was constantly attacking Ishgard to get it back? The whole what eye goes where is a major plot point. Keep playing. You'll see why. Okay. I mean, I think I'd eat it. Because now it's futile. He can't do anything, can he? Yeah, man, the Pope is not looking good. Not only is he consorting with Ascians, he's also burying this truth from his population. Such is the truth the Holy See would keep hidden. Such was the beginning of the Dragon's Song War. Still don't know why it's the Dragon's Song War. This is a song my kind shall never forget, even should 10,000 years pass and Ishgard crumble into dust. What, because one of them died? Why aren't any of them talking about Midgardsorm at any point? Please, can I pull Midgardsorm out of my arse in this scene? Please. I really want to see them talk.
Scant resemblance to the one I was taught. How convenient that it should absolve your kind of all responsibility. But tell me, Dragon, why should I believe your version of events?
Oh, because dragons sing? Okay. Also, yeah, Estinian's fucking a badass, man. I really like... Somehow they've hit that balance just right, where I think that dragons are really fucking badass and cool, and I think these dragoons are really badass and cool as well. Somehow, like, they're working very, very well between one another. Am I going to get another piece of the puzzle that, like, explains why Thordan coveted this power so much? And is it going to be more complicated than Ascian meddling, which I won't get an answer to until fucking Endwalker or whatever? What thou choose to believe is immaterial. The betrayal that yet haunts mine every waking moment is no less than the truth to my kind. And Nidhogg meaneth for Thordan's people to suffer for this sin till the end of days. So if I put Nidhogg in Limsa Laminsa, right? If I just dumped Nidhogg there next to Merwib, would he just be like, "Sup, how's it going?" Would he be chill? Because he's got no beef, right? He's only got beef with Elizans in Ishgardian territory. He'd be a pretty chill guy otherwise, right? That which thou imaginest a war of extinction is but a punishment, a siege of the spirit. Hast thou not seen those who tire of the torment? Those who abandon their own and side with dragonkind? It's just pure malice, though, you know? It's pure vengeance, pure malice. This here, him admitting that they're not just trying to kill and be done with it. They're trying to punish them. People generations on. Like a gross kind of like petty vengeance unleashed by dragons because, you know, they're immortals, so these things feel recent to them. And they don't quite understand that these little flames. A little bit of Ender Dragons trailer in there. A brief, quick, then gone.
Ishgard's so-called heretics.
Oh, that's really cool. So people can become dragons by drinking dragon blood because it's like stuck in their genetics now. Because Thordan and that, they all ate dragon eyeball at least, maybe more. And that's just generation after generation after generation, it's still there. That's very cool. That is quite clever. I like that.
Then the seed lies within us.
So hold on, what's the pragmatic solution? Knowing that. If I was Nidhogg, I would probably just the heretics plan's a good plan. It's sort of like you win, sort of, don't you? If you turn them all into dragons. The thing is, I haven't really seen what they look like. The corrupted, I haven't really seen what heretics after they've drank dragon blood. They're just normal dragons, aren't they? Right? So every Ishgardian can potentially just become a dragon. I don't even stop to like think about that fundamental. So the thing is, the dragons kind of win at that point. You sort of win from within, you know, because you just like spread and you remember that one snowy? Yeah, I remember now. I have seen them. Yeah. They're just dragons, aren't they? They're just straight. They're not like bastardized, fucked up versions of dragons. Can we do it in reverse as well? If a dragon drinks human blood, is there any human in there to awaken, maybe? Also, again, they made it very clear that there's other dragon people, aren't they? Aren't there? Somewhere else in the world that have nothing to do with this. Who are they called again? The people with like scales on their faces. Who are they? And the Ishgardians with dicks to them. The Aura, yeah. But the Aura aren't really related to this, are they? The Aura are like somewhere else, something else. Okay. Alright. I don't know where this is going now. In the context of a nation that's got a problem with heretics that are turning themselves into dragons by drinking dragon blood, I can definitely understand why seeing an aura, you'd be like pissed off at it and you wouldn't want it near you. I can definitely understand that. 'Tis for this reason that those who abandon their loyalties are rewarded with a drink, and thus they are transformed to join the ranks of Nidhogg's ever-growing army as newborn dragons. One by one, through death or defection, my brood brothers shall account for all of the betrayer's children. So that is his plan. He wants to make the whole nation into dragons.
Ye gods, I have borne witness to such a transformation. Looked on as a heretic assumed the shape of a dragon. I imagined it some manner of Dravanian enchantment. But if any Ishgardian, regardless of allegiance, has such potential within them, 12 forgive us. To think of all the dragons we've slain.
Oh, I'm supposed to be horrified that they were people. Sorry, I just got lost in it there and read and just went on. He said, though there will be some people who always just fight on, like you, hey, Dragoon? And then he said, but struggle as thou might, thy youthful vigour will be spent ere thou reach 210. And Nidhogg shall remain to torment thine offspring. What does he mean 210? Is he an age? They probably voted leave.
Nidhogg did not simply raise Ishgard to the ground.
It's been quite fun binging Taskmaster, because you can see the seasons when Brexit happened and all like the sort of like hush-hush jokes that they make about it. And you can do that on any panel show. You can always see the fucking moment that the country lost its mind And people in media didn't know how to talk about the fact that 50% of them watching were fucking morons. Often have I wondered why Nidhogg did not simply raise Ishgard to the ground.
Now I have my answer. He has no intention of winning the Dragonsong War, for it is no war at all, but vengeance. An eternal requiem sung for his murdered sister.
And I don't see how this changes anything. Thou hast the right of it, Dragonslayer. Comprehendest thou now the futility of thy quest?
I have not come this far only to admit defeat. We can still return the eye to Nidhogg and beg forgiveness for our ancestors' crimes. Mayhap our words will sway him.
You love seeing the Leave voters flip out about consequences. Yeah, I have to fight so hard when I'm in the car with my mum or whatever. It's like, oh, Nando's have run out of chicken. I wonder what that is. Or like, there's like a big petrol thing going. There's no more petrol now, and it's like, and she'll sit there whining and whining and whining. But I have to be careful not to antagonize her too much. She was one of those ones as well where like she was talking to me about how she was voting Leave, but she was also saying, oh yeah, I want to retire to Spain. Yeah, I'm just going to go and live there. And then after it all went through, she was like, oh, I guess I can't do that now. Like, just the arrogance of not even knowing that freedom of movement would go both ways. Like, it honestly makes me so mad. Anyway. Sorry, everyone. Sorry. Let's stick on the Final Fantasy story here. Stubborn child, thou thinkest in mortal terms. Our perception of time is too broad for thee to grasp. Right, okay, so yeah, at the start of the conversation, he said, look, I'm going to tell you the facts, and then can you apologise? That's what he said. So he's returning to that now. He says, 'tis a simple matter for thee to offer thine apologies. Thou didst not perpetrate the crime. Despite thy visions, the deeds of history seem distant to thee. Okay, so is Hraesvelgr not... Hraesvelgr isn't attacking anymore because he actually does appreciate that these mortals are not guilty. Like, Hraesvelgr can see that. I wonder if the point is that Nidhogg can't see that. Nidhogg doesn't distinguish. But Hraesvelgr is able to, perhaps because of his time speaking to Shiva. Oh, someone in chat just said Nidhogg went cray-cray. Oh, I now believe that he's been tempered. I now believe this is all going to come down to some primal thing, and he's been tempered. Based on that comment in Twitch chat. For a worm such as Nidhogg, however, that history is yet part of his present, as fresh as the blood that did gush from Ratatosker's wounds. How could he not be driven mad? Whoa! I think I know the story. He's summoning her. Isn't he? Nidhogg is summoning Ratatosker, and he's been tempered by her. And it's like some fucked up vision of her, so he can never escape from the hatred of the thing. So then we're the hero of the expansion by beating the primal, resisting its tempering with the echo. We might not even need to kill Nidhogg. That's now what I think the story is. "'Tis only by the calming embrace of Shiva's soul that mine own fury hath not consumed me." So he just said it's Shiva's soul that keeps him chill. Does that mean the soul's in him? Because he ate her. The soul, that's how he knows that Lady Iceheart doesn't have Shiva, and she's just concocted it because he's got Shiva, because he ate Shiva, and he just suggested she's still kind of there. Basically, yes, no, and probably just a metaphor. Literally 3 messages in chat, all at the same time, with a completely different stance. Left, right, and in the middle. Okay. But let us speak no more of what is done. My faith in your kind is spent, and I would just be alone. I like him a lot. His design is a bit... I wanted bigger. If he's like a big boy dragon, I wanted bigger. I didn't summon Midgardsorm! I really wanted to get Midgardsorm out there. The fact that Midgardsorm didn't come out, even in a conversation like that, that makes Midgardsorm look so, like, godly and so above everything. It's actually really quite cool. But I also kind of wanted him to be there. Hraesvelgr was every bit as awe-inspiring as I imagined. His voice fairly dripped with power. The will behind his words was so undeniable that it transcended my ignorance of the dragon's tongue. 'Tis but a pity that I misliked what he said. So far did we travel, even unto the very heavens themselves, only to be dismissed like unruly children, and far from mitigating this humiliation, the hidden truths we have learned serve only to prove our grand mission of peace was destined to fail from the first. So I wonder what this does with Estinian then. Does he buy it? Let's see, do I have the information to come up with a robust plan? Right now? To be honest, I kind of just think, fuck it. Join the heretics. Like, just leave them. I honestly, to a part of me does just kind of think, just go back, speak to, what's his name? I wanted to say Ardyn, and then I wanted to say Epstein. Who's the guy? Who's the decent guy back in Ishgard? I kind of just want to go back, who vouched for us a lot. I just want to go back. Anyone who's been nice, just be like, look, man, you're on your own now. What's his name? Emmerich, that's it. Emmerich. Yeah, I want to go to Emmerich and be like, look, it's nothing personal, but I can't help you with this anymore. Just get out. And maybe that other guy from the house. Nothing will deter Nidhogg from his course. So hold on. What? The thing is, the Holy See has an ace up his sleeve, doesn't he? What was that again? He openly said to us, yeah, I've seen Ascians, but don't worry, I don't give a fuck about them. And then in private, we had a little glimpse. In private, he said, yeah, the Ascians plan. He's got some new power, doesn't he? The Holy See? On the last stream, there was like a cutscene about it. He's got a trick. There's a complication. Right, what do you think, Alphino? What are you going to do? I quite like this. I genuinely want to know what Alphino would do right now with the information we have. We're just going to go back? She looks fucking crushed. I want Estinian.
What do you propose we do now? I, for one, am intent on continuing to the east.
He just wants to fucking kill Nidhogg. I mean, that's a solution still.
What is there to be found in the east?
Nidhogg's lair, the Eyrie, is said to lie in that direction. And the eye tells me he is near.
I quite like that. I mean, yeah, I'll go with you, bud.
Cannot still mean to slay him.
Of course, there's no peaceable solution. To be honest, I'm more on Estinian's side. I understand it now, and it sucks, alright? But at some point, you just have to say, look, it's us or them. And it is a solution. I mean, what have you got, Ysael? What the fuck have you got? Like, I can't believe she's on her high horse right now if she doesn't have her own plan. Fucking spit out a plan right now, or I'm going with Estinian.
You cannot still mean to stop me. I have been true to my word and aided you in this fool's errand with Hraesvelgr.
I'm now observing that Evray is kind of in Hraesvelgr's name.
But your efforts at parley have come to naught, Lady Iceheart. I would see Ishgard saved, and for that, Nidhogg must die.
With the tale of our ancestors' vile betrayal yet ringing in your ears, you speak of continuing this war?
Ugh, look at it. Oh, I'm so virtuous, Ysael. Oh, fuck, it was ages ago. And you can't change that. It was ages ago. Like, God, that's so fucking, like, holier than thou. And it's people's lives on the line. Like, what the fuck, man? One dragon or a whole nation? I'm not being funny. One dragon or a whole nation. That's the maths in my mind.
Nay, lady. I would but pierce its vengeful heart. When Nidhogg dies, this war shall die with him.
Look, he's exactly right. He's vengeful. It's not through virtue that this war is continuing. It's through hate. And that's not necessarily something that they have to sit there and tolerate. And look, the people... Let's ignore the Heavensward and the Holy Seer. See, I'm guessing they're all pricks, right? But aside from that, think about the average-ish Guardian. That is just an innocent person caught up in a world of shit. You know, they might not have the means to escape and, you know, become an expat or whatever. They're stuck there. That's the lot that they've been given. It's not their fault. Nidhogg is fueled by vengeance. Now, I'm pretty much fully confident it's tempered at this point by a vengeful version of it, a primal version of its sister that it's summoned. But whatever, right? Nidhogg could choose to stop this and doesn't. I agree with Astinian. Go fuck him up.
Astinian. You yourself spoke of the Great Worm's strength, that you believed him powerful enough to raise your city to the ground. How then are we few to challenge him?
Yeah, and I like Alphino here as well, thinking pragmatic.
Even behind the stout walls of Ishgard, with an army of knights manning the defenses, our victory would be hard won. Yet you propose to contend with the beast in his own lair.
In close combat, this will afford us an advantage. And if the tales are true, the Warrior of Light has bested many an invincible foe.
Well, I mean, he still has one eye, bro.
But such speculation is meaningless if we cannot even find the worm. Our first task must be to seek out Nidhogg's lair.
If this is actually where the plot is going, I think it's actually quite a confident and almost like brazen thing to... This is the story that they've essentially constructed. All right, our adventurers are going to go on this big quest to do a thing, and then it's just not going to work, so they're just going to say, fuck it, let's go kill the final boss. That, when you break it down, that is the story that they've written for this expansion. Fuck it, let's go kill the final boss. And I actually quite like how nakedly, like, simple that is.
The story of this nation grows bloodier by the moment. Must death always be answered with more of the same?
Someone in chat says one eye cough. Wait, is it like a Hydra? Is Nidhogg like a Hydra?
Such is the way of things, I fear. I shall consider it a miracle if mine armor is not stained crimson ere this conflict is ended.
That I should be blinded by my own lies. Everything I believed, everything I thought I was, gone. All gone.
I don't get her grievance here. I mean, it's a bit of a revelation that you've just tricked yourself, but I mean, it doesn't really... So hold on, she believed she was like chosen by Shiva or some shit, and that's not true. So what does that boil down to? Boo-hoo, you're not special. Who cares? You have your convictions.
Leave her. Your words will not reach her now. And we have not the time to wait for her to gather up the pieces of her shattered faith.
Oh, God, what a boss. I like him. She is special, though, because she has the echo for some reason. Did Hydaelyn ever give any dragons the echo? Could a dragon have the echo? Wait. No, that doesn't make any sense. She doesn't even know who she is anymore? I guess I just don't have too much sympathy. Almost seems like a quirky bit of trivia about why things happened rather than some ego-shattering revelation. What false god is this Shiva? What manner of phantom have I welcomed into my heart? So does she? They're kind of acting like there's like a malicious spirit that's gone in there and has fueled this obsession with Shiva. But it's nothing external, right? It's an internal process that's occurred with her. She saw Nidhogg when she was under the trees in the forest or whatever the fuck it was, caught a glimpse of the story, and then she just sort of fell into this fantasy of her own. Or is it an external thing? Is there like some kind of malicious spirit that's somehow... Okay. That's some, See, here, this is what I'm talking about with this game's Fashion Wars. You can actually appreciate, like, this little compass thing or whatever the fuck that is at her side and shit, and the patches on her jeans. You could never do that in Guild Wars, because it's just so bloomy, and the lines around all the characters, and, you know, fucking ghostly infusions, and shining wrists, and all that crap. Oh my god, that's a cool mini as well, by the way. Can I, like, inspect? Focus target. Poro Rogo. Right. Defeat enemies as I search for the Airy. Where am I? Oh, I'm here. Oh, it's not far. Okay, here's my question to you guys. Are we like a lot of, like, random shit now before the next juicy cutscene, or is it pretty simple? Like, is this whole am I gonna very suddenly be at Nidhogg and then it takes a U-turn, or wait, not what did I ask you? What does no mean? Next up is the dungeon. Okay, I'll get at least to this dungeon. The Airy is the next dungeon. How do you guys rate the Airy dungeon? You can buy glamour prisons with Grand Company seals and glamour your own gear at this point. Yeah, well, it's okay though, because when I hit level 58, I think I get my last Dark Knight quest. Do I get my last Dark Knight quest at 58 or 60? At one of those. And then, I don't know. Son of the land, you are here in our realm with the blessing of Vidofnir, which means there is good within you. Mine uncle, known by your people as Galar the Second Son, ever loyal to the servant of Hraesvelgr, is beset by minions of Nidhogg. I ask your humble heart that you lend him your strength, for without your aid I do not believe we'll survive much longer, and I'm too young and weak to alter the tide of battle. No. Then you've condemned him to death. Perhaps Vidofnir was mistaken. Yeah, what was I asking? 60 for job gear. Ah, fuck. So I still got 3 levels. That armor looks really cool. That's like what I wanted out of the Dark Knight experience. I think I fucked this up a little bit. Let's go up this way. I think you've got to go back to Ishgard for a bit before the Airy, correct, to get the mount to reach it. Oh, am I going to get my flying mount, am I? Just wait until you see the level 80 gear. Wow, the Reaper looks amazing in Endwalker. One of the reasons these streams came back is because I saw that and I was like, I definitely want to be that. I kind of like the idea of maining Dark Knight, Reaper, Black Mage, I don't know, who else? No, just all the edgy fucking... God, I don't like those. These quests are all so quick to complete. I should set up that Salted Earth macro sometime soon. I want to speak to Estinian again. It's weird. It's almost like, even despite all those stories, all that information, Estinian's resolve is greater than ever, you know? I have to assume they're building. There's got to be a. It's not a tipping point, is it? There's got to be a point where he changes his mind. Sage is probably the edgiest healer. Maybe we'll see. Oh yeah, I could mount. What's edgy about Sage? Yeah, is there one for each category? You don't need the macro on November 19th. It's going to be placed at the caster's feet. See, I actually feel like if I really... Free cam's working now, what? I feel like if I was a Final Fantasy nerd, I'd be mad about that change. Because it's like they're taking complexity and nuance and intrigue away. You know, to me, I feel like they should fucking look at any other game and improve the ground targeting system, right? Not take ground targets away. I get that people just use it like they're placing it at their feet. But that's like ArenaNet making Lava Font a PBAOE in Guild Wars 2 just because that's how people play with it. It's like, I don't know whether I agree with that. It's ironic I say that because in Guild Wars 1, Lava Font was a PBAOE. Which is just a funny little twist on this all. Okay, I actually think for the first time I did a good opening there. I got my Salted Earth up. I've been using the correct AoE against the correct dragons. I didn't mess up any GCDs. And I had my blood weapon up. So I think I finally did sort of an actual opener of sorts. A pretty efficient one. They're improving ground targeting, but you're the tank. The target will be on you. No reason to place the AoE somewhere else. Well, again, I mean, that to me, it just sort of says my instinct there is to say, well, that's because encounter design isn't very variant and isn't very sophisticated in this game. And, you know, there's a lot of value and benefit that can come out of that, don't get me wrong. PlayStation, how do people do AoE placement? I mean, that's a consideration too. I have no idea. People were speaking high positive praise of this game, keybind-wise, on PlayStation controller. I mean, it blows my mind that a game with this many hotkeys is actually comfortably functional on a PlayStation controller. You know what? Does anyone here have an Oculus Quest? You know, if you do, you know the very little buttons that you can click in to open up like Steam VR UI or bring up the Oculus Home or whatever, right? You know, the Oculus Touch controllers, there's those little buttons, and they're very clicky buttons, but they're basically completely flush with the rest of the controller. I feel like, I mean, there's basically been, when I was a little kid and when I was a teenager, there was a lot of controller innovation going on, like a lot. And it strikes me that since the PlayStation 3, there's basically been none. Let's see if I can do that again. Oh god, no, I'm going way too slow. I overloaded way too much stuff there. But those little flush clicky buttons, I feel like they should be standard on Xbox and PlayStation controllers now. And they should be the intercardinals. Does that make sense? So you got between X and square, or with your thumb between X and square. If you slid your thumb against the plastic off the button, off the buttons between X and square, that should be like a little clicky button. There should be 8 for your thumb. In that world, where there's 8, I can actually start to understand MMOs and shit working a bit better. But, no innovations happened at all. We went from, like, crazy interesting shit like the N64 controller. I mean, at least, to be fair, Nintendo are still going nuts with stuff. But I feel like Microsoft and Sony's are they're kind of just big pussies, to be honest. They've just sort of sat on their laurels. It's a shame that like the Steam controller never really went anywhere. That was supposed to be revolutionary, wasn't it? I never bought one. I never really looked into why it was supposed to be so good. If you buy that new Steam console, do you get a Steam controller with it, or do they don't produce them anymore? Do they? Valve's world of hardware is like really weird. Astro is shiny, not edgy. Well, look, if there's not an edgy healer, I just won't play an edgy healer. You know, I'll just go with the Trinity, the Black Mage, the Reaper, and the Dark Knight, and then the Monk for funsies. I like Monk a lot. I'm not all edge. Oh, I should have looked before. I didn't even pay attention to what we're looking at. That's where he is it? I've been looking at that in the distance.
Aye, that would be the Airy. I feel Nidhogg's presence through the eye. His caustic hatred gnawing at my soul.
You don't think so? The Steam Deck is just a glorified Nintendo Switch. Well, I understand it's in competition with the Nintendo Switch, but the Switch has controllers, right? What is the Steam Deck controller system? SCH is edgy because it will be a dead class walking next expansion after Sage comes out.
Twould seem the death of his consort has put him on guard. Mark how he wards his lair with tempestuous winds.
Twould seem the death of his consort has put him on guard. When did we kill his consort? Was that when we climbed the mountain?
A similar barrier once barred our entrance to the primal Garuda's domain, until we discovered the means by which it could be penetrated.
I really want to put... Oh man, I wanna like summon some fucking primals to fight him. Wouldn't that be cool? Can we summon Garuda to fight a dragon?
It is time we called upon Master Garland. It will be just like the good old days, no?
Can't we? What about Ravena? Was that Ravena? He was fucking him up. Let's put the Hive Mind primal on there. You still haven't learned summoning primals is bad. No, I have. I'm kind of messing around here. It's kind of funny, me messing around here, but then later in the story, I'm assuming it does become more okay, because I know that eventually the story is going to turn everything on a head and say that actually you can't drive away the darkness, you need it, and shit like that. And I know that in the new expansion, summoners literally summon primals, those early primals. I know that literally happens. So it's kind of bad, but I know ultimately it's not bad or some shit. I don't know, though. I don't know how the story's going to go all the way over there. I appreciate that's really, really jumping ahead. Estinian would have you enlist the aid of Sid Garland. A force of sufficient power to break through a primal's defenses might conceivably grant us access to the Airy, and I can offer no better solution. Pray consult this engineer friend of yours. Very well, on the condition that you swear not to lure Nidhogg from his lair in our absence. And steal all the glory for myself, you mean? Nay, I'm not so selfish as that. Contact me by link pearl when the preparations are complete, and we shall set forth from Ishgard together. I suggest we rendezvous back at St. Riennet's Forum, Macon. From what I gleaned of the Holy Sea's decidedly ambitious airship project, Sid will still be in Ishgard. Alright, so it looks like we've got a Sid arc coming up. Maybe a chance to go see the Pope, figure out what his ace is, his wild card is. And the hunt for Hraesvelgr is over. The hunt for Nidhogg is on. That's where I'm going to leave it for today, guys. Thanks very much for tuning in and watching. Hopefully I wasn't too bad juggling chat. Hopefully this was entertaining. If you've got any messages for me at all on any of the topics broached today, let me know. And I'll be watching the Wooden Potatoes 2 comments very closely. And hopefully tomorrow I'll shoot a video about the elite specs with boots. That might be good. So thanks, guys. And I'll see you soon. Thank you, everybody. Ta-ta.